All right. Welcome. I was wondering where I heard that noise. It's my phone.
That's
I,
what
I
I
thought I had that thing turned off. Excuse me, folks. Had a little technical difficulty there. Good morning. Welcome to a beautiful, cloudy, I don't know if that even makes sense, a beautiful, cloudy Saturday morning here in the big Queen City. It is definitely autumn out there, turning cold. Uncle Red's in the house. Good morning, sir.
Good morning to everybody.
Where's your coat? You normally
I
wearing a
took it
coat.
off. It's hanging right here.
I knew you had a coat. You always
I
got a
came
coat.
in with a coat.
You got a coat. It's getting chilly, And right out of the gate, I know that I experienced it this morning getting in my van and headed to the studio. My low tire pressure light's on. How about yours?
Nope, because I spent yesterday afternoon airing all the tires.
Because it was on. Came
Because
on night before last, didn't
that's
it?
right. Yeah.
Yep. Low air pressure warning lights are popping off last couple of days, obviously, because it's gotten cold. Why? Tell everybody why their lights are on, Uncle Red.
Well, the air.
Like they don't know, but a lot of people don't know how to read a tape measure,
Well,
so they don't know this either.
No. Well, they give you the tire pressure in the door jam of every kind of car that's ever made, just about. So, if you've got the right same size tires on it. But the trick is, what a lot of people don't know is the air actually permeates through the wall of the tire, and the ambient temperature outside going lower makes the air shrink in the tire. So if you had the right amount in there and it was 80 degrees, now, when it goes down to 40
or 50 or
50 or whatever, that's the reason that the race car people use nitrogen in the tires, because it doesn't react to the heat nearly as much as the air does. Of course, y'all didn't want to know that, but I thought I'd throw it in there.
Those are little trivial facts.
That's the reason a lot of tire stores will put, especially in cold weather, they'll put it'll say 32, they'll put like 35 in it, because when it gets really, really cold, it'll go down to 32.
Yep. But that's why you check tire pressure lights on, so everybody's running around pumping up their tires. I've got to do it because I've got got in it this morning, 3 of them.
Yeah.
3 of them. And I expect that every year. Yeah. We talk about it on the show every year because it happens about this time.
I mean, everybody assumes that the tire will hold air forever. Well,
it will.
It will, except if you leave it long enough, a little bit of it gets out. It's no different than the Freon charging hoses that the service guy charges your Freon to your house. They don't leak. They don't leak profusely, but the actual hose itself, because the Freons are so thin, they will come through the hose. So it's really kind of a crazy deal. I mean, not enough to make any difference on the scales or the charge, but they can make it only so tight. So we're not building a missile silo, but it's just the way the world works.
And then again, there are actual leaks.
Sure. Oh yeah, there's leaks.
There are leaks. At any rate, there you go. Well, speaking of the weather, yesterday it didn't get above 70. I don't think today it's only supposed to be the high of 70. So, hey, beautiful weather, autumn weather.
Yeah, and it's a good time, since it isn't really, really cold yet. If you haven't had your HVAC system checked, it's a good time to have your gas furnace checked, because you're not desperately needing it right now. Have it checked by somebody, which is not too big a deal. Make sure all the safeties are working and all. Not a whole lot of money, make you sleep better. And then heat pumps and coils outside and inside. The thermal efficiency of the coil inside, even though you change filters every month, they still get dirty. Even though you do a good job of trying to keep the outside part from not getting a lot of grass and junk growing on it, washing the coils. It's kind of like driving your car with a blanket hanging over the radiator and wondering why it's running hot. Well, when you let everything get dirty inside and outside, the efficiency falls off for a heat pump unit or a straight air conditioning unit. So now's a good time, when the temperature's bouncing around, and you're not really inconvenienced, to get a hold of whomever you use to do your HVAC work and let them come out and do it. It's relatively simple. It's relatively inexpensive, but it makes your system operate as well as it's going to work. And they'll probably check the Freon to see if it happens to be a little bit low. And if a heat pump is just the least bit low, they're so critical, then it won't heat as well. So now you're burning power, running a compressor, but you're not getting the maximum heat out. And that's just crazy. I mean, with the cost of electricity, and it's actually hard on the compressor. So, you know, I didn't come in to do a sales pitch for HVAC because I hadn't mentioned
do
anybody.
Do you remember Chris Raker coming in here with Plaza Appliance? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to throw out something some people in this town ain't going to like, but I don't care. When you call, you should have the most important relationship with service you have is your HVAC company. That relationship is your comfort. Now, when you pick and when you choose the relationship, beware, because there are companies in Charlotte. Chris Raker called me last Saturday night from the beach, ranting. Chris Raker has never called me. I always call him when I need something, but he rarely calls me. He was ranting, and I've got to say this because he's right. There's a tremendous influx of immigrants, and now I ain't going to get political, okay? No, that's not the intention. But we've got some Ukrainians, Hispanics, various other people. I'm not saying they're, just be careful. That's what I'm telling you is be careful, because people will upcharge you, and other companies, bigger companies in Charlotte, will upcharge you and take advantage of certain situations. In other words, charge you, do services that really aren't necessary. Yep, they can claim it's going to save you money down the road. Yep, they can upsell you and tell you anything, and you can believe it or not believe it. I like second opinions when you get over $1,000 or $500, or you know what I'm saying, right?
And that's not hard to do.
No, it's not. Service providers, and when I say service providers, I'm talking about trades, electrical, plumbing, HVAC. They get big bucks these days. Why? It takes a lot of money to equip a truck with equipment, with test equipment, with a man, with insurance, with tools, and all he needs to perform that task when he gets to your house. He doesn't want to come to your house and leave and go get something and come back. That's exactly what they don't want to do. They want to be prepared. So it costs to equip a truck to do that.
That's correct.
I mean, it costs. So like you call ER Plumbing. When ER Plumbing comes to your house, you're going to pay for it. Believe me. So therefore, you can decide who gets to do your work based on a lot of things. Service, showing up, courtesy, cleanliness, the way they do it. Now, if you pay a premium price, you should get premium work.
I agree.
Well,
no, that's a misstatement. Everyone should do premium work, but the problem is probably
they don't.
60% of them don't. They might do something, but they don't do the.
And there again comes training. There's company out here that have extensive training programs.
Yep.
I love it.
Oh, yeah.
That makes these guys true professionals.
That's right.
But they're also trained to sell.
To upsell you.
To sell you.
Right.
Unfortunately. Well, Chris called me ranting about all this upselling going on in the appliance repair business, which he owned for.
Oh, yeah. He was the cat
50,
daddy.
He's 55 years old.
Yeah, but he used to work himself.
He's been doing it since he was 18 years old. Actually, before that.
And I think he had like 5 or 6 people working for him at one time.
Well, he tried to, but you can't hire 5 or 6 people anymore in the appliance repair business because there isn't 5 or 6. There ain't enough of them to go around, just like every trade out there.
Well, I'll give you a good example. I'm going to jump in this conversation. I got a neighbor.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am too.
Okay.
A neighbor of mine has a house, a couple houses over up there where I live. She came down. She called me. She said, my clothes dryer's broken. She said, will you call somebody? I said, sure, I'll call somebody. I called somebody up the road that I knew was pretty good about coming out. Guy comes out. He looks at the model of the dryer, front load dryer. He looks at it. He said, yep, needs a belt. And
easy peasy.
Well, he said it needs a belt, but I don't have it with me. So this is a couple years ago. So then he said, but I'll get the part and I'll come back down here. He comes down a week later now. Now, she's not living there. She lives up in Winston. And she called me and she said, the guy's over here. He's come back. He's got a belt. And when he opened it up, because he just assumed that the belt was broken. He assumed, which is that's the word that gets everybody in trouble. I don't care what.
You don't assume anything.
I don't care what discipline you work in. Assuming is the worst.
That's bad.
Anyway,
I learned that the hard way too, just like you did.
It had torn a pulley, an idler pulley up and stuff inside when the belt broke. And he told her, he said, well, she'd already paid him $250 for the first service call. She said, how much is it going to cost? He said, well, it's going to cost $483 to fix this pulley and all this. And she said, you know what? Thanks for coming down, but I'm not spending $800, $700 on a 20-year-old clothes dryer.
Right.
She said, we'll just go down and buy a new washer and dryer and donate the good washer and throw the other one. They can carry it off and do whatever they do with it to the metal scrap. So I'm not a believer in this throw everything away.
Oh, heck no, especially a clothes dryer, because even that idler and pulley, which I've replaced both many times, very simple task overall. But I'm sorry, I can be a little critical here. The idiot that came out there and made an assumption, charged her $250 to assume.
Yeah. And that's all it was.
And he was wrong.
That's right. And his boss came back, and he's the guy that said, I apologize for what happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He assumed something. He said, and he said, I'll be glad to fix it. He had the stuff to fix it with. She said, we're not doing that. We're not fixing a 20-year-old clothes dryer.
But then again, I disagree with that. Well, that whole, because I hear it all the time. We've become so much a throwaway society.
Oh, no.
And really, that belt and pulley shouldn't have cost more than $250 to $300, labor and trip and everything.
The first time, one of the first shows I ever did with Ray, and this has been a good many years ago, you were screaming about clothes dryers then. And I remember you, because of the lines being clogged up when you were running the vent company and all.
Cleaning,
And he said, I could stand at the dump and people would be bringing almost new looking dryers in that there wasn't anything wrong with the dryer. And they're just wanting to pitch them in the dumpster.
Yeah.
Because they're going to buy a brand new one.
Clothes dryer, since we're on that, where are we at the clock? We got to take a break here shortly. But, there are a lot of appliances, and I understand, believe me, I understand the idea behind, well, it's 18, 20 years old, it's going to break. I hear it a lot. I really do. Matter of fact, I have a 48-inch Pro Viking cooktop in the toolbox now.
Right.
When I say the toolbox, it's a learning center up, at the warehouse.
Right.
Okay. And the only reason she bought a new one was because it was almost 20 years old.
And Viking, when it started, was the cat daddy.
Yeah. But anyway, so she asked me, would I be interested in that cooktop when her new one comes? Because I replaced her vent hood.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I said, absolutely. And when I got up there, it was like brand new.
Yeah, that's good.
She said she hadn't used that grill but twice since she lived there. And it was like I pulled out the pans where all the dirt goes. It was clean as a whistle. Clean.
Yeah.
But clothes dryers, we'll talk about them. We do frequently because let's have a little clothes dryer lesson.
Yeah.
Won't hurt nothing. We're going into winter here. Not that it makes a bit of difference, but in actuality, it
It
does, and I'll
does.
explain that too.
Yeah.
So come on back. You're listening to About Your House. Uncle Red in the house with me today. Looking forward to it. We're going to talk about lots of stuff. Put tools in schools, nary, shed building competition, Queen City Home Store, Stanley County Trade Center. We're going to talk about that. Brand new, just had their grand opening. Had a tour last week. I could not get away to attend. Actually, it was Thursday night, but I couldn't get there. But we're going to talk about it anyway. Come on down. Come back. About Your House right here on Fox Sports Charlotte.
Out more about the show? Go to our Facebook page, About Your House Radio. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsor.
Mike Libretto here, inviting you to come in and experience Charlotte's best New York pizza and great Italian food at Libretto's Pizzeria. Serving Charlotte proudly since 2008, Libretto's pizzas are sure to please. Bite a slice or grab a whole pie. Pastas, entrees, great appetizers, sandwiches, and wings. A menu to please the whole family. Dine in or take out, available 7 days a week. Visit us online at librettospizzeria.com or call us at 704-714-1442. That's Libretto's Pizzeria. Stop in and become part of the family.
Whether you're building new or remodeling old, let ABS Insulating make it comfortable. ABS Insulating knows the business of comfort. Using the latest products and technology, ABS offers an array of solutions, using fiberglass and spray foam, and all installed by certified technicians. ABS Insulating has been saving energy dollars with great customer service for over 30 years. They're a leader in the industry. Call them today, 704-821-4343 or absinsulating.com.
Owens Chimney Systems is known for all professional chimney services since 1989, including chimney cleaning, recommended annually, chimney evaluations and inspections, any and all chimney repairs and restorations, gas fireplace and gas fire log service, furnace cleaning, cleaning out one of the most overlooked appliances in the home. Get it done right the first time. That's Owens Chimney Systems at 704-554-9595. Or you can visit us online at owenschimneysystems.com.
Rhino Foundation Solutions, your go-to people for any foundation, crawl space, basement waterproofing, concrete repair. And hey, whether you're in North Carolina, South Carolina, they're a general contractor in both states. They're equipped to handle any foundation or crawl space repair needs. Retaining wall repair, foundation wall repair, leaning chimneys. Many leaning chimneys around this here city and beyond where they can fix them, jack them puppies up, put them in place. Helical piers, you name it, they got you covered. If you're interested in crawl space encapsulation or foundation repair under your house with piers, they got you covered. Waterproofing, bowed wall repair, dehumidification services. That's Rhino Lift Foundation Solutions. Neat name. Give them a call, 980-737-7502. Serving Charlotte and all North and South Carolina areas. That's rhinofoundations.com.
Have a comment or question for the show? Call us 704-227-8986. That's 704-227-8986. Now, back to the show.
All right, I want to throw some things out here with McCoy's. McCoy's, good food. McCoy's Smokehouse and Saloon on Old Pineville Road. Game day specials: $2 beers, $3 shots, and $3 tacos. That's game day. Every Saturday, game sound on every Saturday and Sunday. The fun starts September 6th. So the game day specials starts September 6th at McCoy Smokehouse and Saloon, Old Pineville Road. That's $2 beers, $3 shots, $3 tacos. And we will be giving away some meal tickets to that up in coming weeks. So I hear you got a comment there.
Yeah, Brent McDowell had a question for you guys. He wanted you guys to discuss PEX or PEX. I'm hearing people are having issues with pinhole leaks.
Okay. You got anything on PEX?
I haven't had any problem or seen anybody having any problem with it. Not like they did Quest, the gray stuff. I mean, it was a nightmare, but I haven't had any problem with the PEX.
I have. And I had a pinhole in my PEX at the toolbox about, it was 3 years ago. I was taking a nap and I looked up and I saw a water stain. Yeah. Luckily, I caught it early because I don't normally lay down and take a nap in that room, but I was taking a nap in that room. Lay down, looked up, went upstairs, and sure enough, there was a small pinhole. I called Ron Steele, my buddy, and he said, yeah. He said, occasionally they run into that PEX will develop pinholes. So,
I don't know.
Nothing to me takes place copper except when you get into replacing, is a better word, old metal, steel water pipe.
Well, we went through galvanized pipe.
Galvanized pipe's hideous.
That's what you had.
Yeah.
Then we went to copper. And then when they used to, years ago, you got to be 135 years old to know all this. But anyway.
Yep.
When you went to the copper that was thicker, it wasn't a problem. Then they went to M, which is extremely thin. So if you had acidic water, any reason, well water, or even some municipal water, it's not perfect. I mean, it's got chlorine in it, but it doesn't mean it's mineral free, because a lot of municipal water in small towns comes from wells, and people don't know it. They just chlorinate it, put it in the water tank.
Tank it up and treat it and
send it to you. You know what I mean? But we got away, but those pieces of copper would get holes in them quite frequently when they got a little age on them. Then they went
especially on 90-degree bends.
Oh yeah, and then they went to Quest, and Quest was some kind of new plastic. We're not going to put any elbows or anything in it. We're going to put all the valves in one spot in a closet.
They had manifold methodology,
deal, and take the pressure drop out of it. And then a few years after they built a gazillion houses with it, all of a sudden it would split and literally flood houses. Well, they went through a gigantic lawsuit.
Class action lawsuit, big time.
So now, if you see some, you wouldn't think about doing anything with any Quest, period. I mean, you have to run from it. And then they went to CPVC.
It's still around, though.
Oh, no, you'll see it from time to time.
Yep.
But then they went to CPVC. And I ran a little bit of CPVC, and I thought, well, this is not so bad. You cut it, it's new. You glue the fittings on,
Too brittle.
Well, no, here's what really happens. Where you glue it, it gets extremely brittle. You know what I mean? As long as you've got it supported and you're not banging around on it, it's okay. But if you go to cut it later and it's 20 years later, it just shatters when you cut it. Yep. It's too brittle. So there again, the technician that's changing your water heater or something needs to understand all that. And you don't get that from 10 minutes of training. You have to be around it.
Experience teaches you.
Experience, and then he knows how to handle it. And he can save it and not create a bigger mess than changing a leaking water heater. And then they went to PEX. And PEX is kind of crazy. PEX uses 2 or 3 kinds of fittings. Even some of I'm not a big fan of PEX, and I'll tell you why. Because they go by the OD, and it's
outer diameter.
Yeah, and the it's the same size as copper is on the outside. it's the same size as CPVC is. So you can buy a slip-on fitting to fix a repair. That's a good thing. The problem is a piece of half-inch PEX does not have a very big hole inside of it. It's about 3/8 of an inch. 3/8 of an inch doesn't pass a whole lot of water. I mean, you can't, pressure does not overcome volume. In other words, it restricts it to a point. And it's all legal. Don't get me wrong. I didn't come here to preach and tell anybody how to plumb anything. I just know that everybody that ever built a house that I had anything to do with, or they asked me about it, I'd say, tell your plumber to run 1-inch mains in the house, even if they're PEX, to run 1 inch and 3/4, and don't put as much any more, don't put any half in it unless you have to for the risers, because down the road, you don't want a brand new house, but houses are full of it. New houses that are track built houses.
Oh, absolutely.
And they meet code and nobody can say a word to them. It works. But when you start turning 2 or 3 things on at one time, especially if you've got a well pump, or especially if you've got like a pressure regulator out in the ground that's got 50 PSI on it set, I'm sorry.
That ain't gonna cut it.
You're going to miss the water someplace. It's not going to completely quit, but it's going to be a problem. Now, the plumbers love it because you can go in with basically hardly any tools. You can cut it. You can make a clean fit. You can
with
put
Milwaukee
it together.
crimping tools and everything, it's easy.
Oh, yeah.
Easy.
You can put the rings on or you can put the bands on and snap them, and it works. And if you're off a little bit, you can wiggle the fittings and they don't leak. I mean, the concept's good. Now, if you're using the brass fittings, if you have acidic water, the pipe will hold up and the fittings will start to corrode. So a lot of people use the plastic fittings, and then there's even some people that make the PEX fittings that go on the outside of the pipe.
I've never seen that.
Yeah, I ran into them a couple years ago, so that you don't restrict it. But when you go turn a PEX L or something, I mean,
you restrict the flow.
You're just restricting tons of water. It's like making another 100 feet of pipe.
Right.
When you put an elbow in it. And plumbers, especially if they're putting plumbing in, depending on how good they are, but if they've got some trainees working for them, and they say, take this pipe from here to here, they'll invariably put too many L's in it, because they don't think the thing through, before they start.
No, they don't figure all
They're in a hurry. They're doing a good job. It's not leaking, and you get water. But it might not be the best way to do it. So I always tell people, tell your plumber to oversize the plumbing. I don't care if he charges you a little bit more money. It's worth it to you on the other end, because you're going to be the guy living in the house.
Well, back to the original question Brent asked. He said, have you heard about pinholes in PEX? And the answer is, yep, I've heard about them. What to do about them?
I wonder if he's got one.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, then I'd cut it and put a
that's what I did.
I'd cut it, put a shark bite in it, and forget about it.
That's exactly what I did to the leak I had. I went and found it, took me a Sharpie, marked it, and then came back, cut it right there.
Yep.
And
the only thing you need to think about when you use the shark bites is you need to take a piece of crocus cloth or something and kill that sharp edge on the PEX on both sides, or anything, the copper or the CPVC, whatever you're splicing. You need to just kill that leading edge. You don't have to buff it like a lawnmower blade. You just need to kill that sharp edge from cutting it with the cutter. And then when you slide it in, it won't cut the O-ring that you're putting it through.
Right.
I mean, it's real simple. Pop.
Right.
No torches, no setting the house on fire. I mean,
Technology's come a long way as far as fastening plumbing joints.
Oh, yeah. And fixing leaks in a hurry. Yeah.
Yep. Sure have. It's just amazing. I wish I had all the plumbing tools that you can get from Milwaukee. And Milwaukee is the only truly trade specific, not complete tool company. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Yeah. They've kind of come up with a lot of trick stuff.
When it comes to electrical, plumbing, HVAC, all the stuff, Milwaukee's got some dynamite tools.
And we drug cords around for years, and everything runs on a battery, and the batteries are so good.
Oh, the battery
you can
technology is phenomenal.
You can just run forever. You can do a whole day's, 2 or 3 days work and never even change a battery.
All right, Brent, I tell you what I'll do after you ask that question. I'm going to get some more information and come back with some data on the PEC situation, because I want to know more, because you apparently have had an issue or found or heard of a problem. And yeah, there are some issues with PECs.
Well,
we just talked about some.
You know, when they're manufacturing anything, any kind of pipe, period, they're not looking at every inch of it. I mean, it's going through something that's looking at it, but they every so many feet, they'll pull a piece out and they'll pressure test it. You know what I mean? But that hole might not be there then. But
hole in there typically.
They have quality. They have quality control on everything.
Right.
With the copper, the steel pipe, the big stuff like I used to run, everything. So it's not like they're just not throwing caution to the wind, but you can't expect them to get every piece of it, you know.
Let me go another direction here and throw something out there. I'm going to see where you're at with it, and I ought to know more, but I did know it existed, and that's the new yellow gas lines they had.
Yeah.
The stainless steel lines.
Yeah.
Corrugated, the corrugated one. And they had issues with lightning strikes and pinholes in that due to lightning strikes.
You mean you're talking about the flexible gas?
The flexible yellow gas.
You know,
I didn't like it the first time I saw it.
I never liked it at all.
I knew there were going to, intuitively, I just knew there was going to be some issues. Right. And then the issues came with different couplers and different connecting methodologies with different brands. And then, one wouldn't fit the other, and, that created issues. But the biggest issue I understood to be, frankly, I love the concept and methodology behind it. Yeah. And it was based on manifolds.
Sure.
You'd have one main line feed a manifold, and then it would have 4 or 5 different, the gas, the grill, the water heaters, the gas cooktop or range. They were coming off that manifold. Great concept, but they had issues. It would leak. I mean, lightning strikes. Yep. And then they came up with a grounding methodology to it. Now it just complicated the issue. And there's another great example of how technology enters the construction arena, and then there are issues.
I'm gonna throw something in there since you mentioned the lightning or surge protection. A lot of the mini split systems, which people are familiar with, my God, they're hanging everywhere. I mean,
they're great.
They're the greatest thing in the world. They've been all over the world, and then they finally got here. But anyway, but because the technology is solid state and inverter controlled, most of them probably offer a box to mount to protect the power that's going to it for that simple reason. You get a big surge on a line from a lightning strike somewhere way up the road, that circuit board and that equipment in that mini split, especially the outside unit, it can't stand that hit. That's the only problem with anything that's solid state, and they're about as solid state as you can get. They're great. They run good. They're more efficient. If the line sets short, they do a terrific job. But we even went back, the ones that I've had put in, we went back and drove 8-foot grounds and grounded the unit. Just, before anybody started talking about surge suppressing, we just said, we're going to ground them. Kind of like the well pumps, the constant pressure well pumps when they first came out, ran on a computer. And the pump would speed up when the load went up in the house, and it would slow down. Greatest setup in the world. They still put them in. People love them. You run one spigot, it barely runs. You run 5 shower heads, it'll spin up and make all 5 shower heads work. It's a good setup. It costs a little bit more money, but it's really not crazy, because it's just like having constant pressure water at 50 or 60 pounds. But they had a problem with lightning taking out the control unit, which looked like kind of like a small tower, like you used to put.
It was a computer.
It's a computer. It's like a small tower 20 years ago that you put under your desk. So they gave us this this triangle ground thing. Said, try this. We figured out that this will stop it. So we'd drive a ground. We'd have a number 4 copper running out the wall. We'd put one. We'd have a ground rod in. Then we'd take another one 20 feet away, and then we'd come back again, and we'd tie them in a triangle. When you did that, I've had them up there on the mountains, up there where the lightning hits all summer long. Never lost another one.
Lightning is the culprit for a lot of solid state. And, you know, back before the break, I told you I'd come back and talk about clothes dryers. Okay, I'm going to tie this solid state into the clothes dryer issue.
Yeah.
Clothes dryers. Clothes dryers are the most basic appliance you have in your house other than a water heater.
Yeah.
Water heater, it's a tank. There's elements in it, or a burner at the bottom, heats the water, and it's that simple. Water in, heat the water, water out.
Got an anode in it in case
Yep.
the water's a little crazy. The
Sure.
anode dissolves in it.
Nothing to it, and you can replace all that until it starts leaking. Then your
That's
water
right.
then the water heater goes bad. You replace it. Okay. Clothes dryer. Clothes dryer is nothing more than a big blow dryer.
That's right.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
It sucks about 150 CFM, maybe a little more, maybe a little less, but 150 to 200 CFM, cubic feet per minute. Takes that air, it sucks it in. That air goes across a heating element or a gas burner. If you got electric, it'll be an element. If you got gas, it'll be a burner. And by the way, gas dryers are actually safer than electric dryers in one respect, in the fact that if it's clogged up, it won't fire. You know, well, that ain't the case with electric. If it's electric and it's clogged up, it's still going to fire up. I mean, heat that element, therefore causing heat and possibly fire.
Okay, so throw something else in here about the incoming air for the clothes dryer. Now, didn't the code say you had to have air coming in?
Well,
Because they built their houses so tight.
no, you don't need makeup air for a dryer because it's only taking 150 to 200 CFM. When you get above 400, you're talking about a different situation. We'll get into that. That's for
Okay.
range hoods.
Okay, well,
Then they taking 400 above 400 out, you got to bring 400 in. Okay, but I'm talking about the clothes dryer. So you're sucking 200 and 150, 200 CFM of air in. That air goes over the heat element or heating source, warms that air, puts it through the drum, through the filter in the door or top of the dryer, wherever the lint filter is. It goes through that manifold there and then out the back of the dryer. It's that simple. Air in, through the tumbler, through the filter, out the back. It's that simple.
Yep.
Now, the tumbler, it's nothing but a drum on 2 idler wheels.
Yep.
You know, 2 pulleys, two wheels in the back hold it. And there's and it fits really neat. Now, all you got to do is take the front off the dryer typically and pull the front off, and that drum will come out. Yes.
Brent responded and said, "Thank you. Personally, he's not having issues, but some in his neighborhood are finding leaks. Thanks for discussing it."
Okay, cool. Sure. But anyway, the drum, you know, there's a belt that goes around it and goes to this little bitty, I call it little bitty because it's not a big motor. It's an electric motor, and it's got an axle,
An idler.
an axle on it
Yeah.
with a little thing that holds the belt. And
Which is the lowest gear ratio in the world.
yeah, exactly.
So that little motor can turn that big drum full
Yeah,
of
and there's an
clothes.
idler wheel on the spring that
Keeps the tension,
keeps tension on that belt, and that
like your car.
now. And when you hear a squeak, that idler wheel's squeaking. It needs some oil, needs some TLC. And there's a little window on the back. There's a little door on the back of most dryers you can take off and look at all this stuff in there. I've done it a bazillion times. You know, as far as changing the belt, piece of cake. There again, not everybody can do it, but if you go to YouTube University, look at a couple videos, you can. That's what I do.
Or get on the Google later.
Yeah. I mean, Lord of mercy, with the resources we got now, it's a piece of cake. But that's all a dryer is. Now, the problem with clothes dryers are, just like we alluded to a little while ago, is the electronics attached, the technology.
The more technology you buy in the dryer.
Those computer boards can cost up $200 to $500,
Yeah.
even more. So that, in other words, the boards you have to replace due to surges.
Right.
Now, how can you eliminate these surges we're talking about? We've talked about it many
Your buddy, the
times.
electrician, puts a whole house surge suppressor.
Well,
on.
Ron Helms, Helm Electrical Service and Contracting. Well, any electrician can who come out and put whole house surge protection on your house.
Which is really not too complicated.
And it's not that expensive considering what it's going to save you in TVs and computers and in circuit boards on your appliances, because everything you buy now, and Chris Raker told me, he said even the dials now have circuit board technology in it.
The old style stuff was electromechanical, and a little hit wouldn't hurt it.
Right. But clothes dryers are very, very simple machines. They really are.
But they consume a lot of electricity. And when Ray screams, how long does it run? And it's running too long because the vent's not run correctly.
We'll talk about it.
It's just burning your pocketbook.
We'll talk about that and wrap up the dryer discussion that we talk about frequently here on this show. But hey, since we're on it, let's talk about it a little bit more, and then we'll get that by the wayside and move forward. Come on back right here on About Your House. Download the free app. Stream us live anywhere. YouTube Live, Facebook Live, on your browser, foxsportsradiocharlotte.com. Come on back. We'll be here. Uncle Red in the house.
Find out more about the show? Go to our Facebook page, About Your House Radio. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsor.
There's big news in the Carolinas. Queen City Audio, Video, and Appliances is now Queen City Home Store. For over 70 years, we've been your trusted retailer for appliances, electronics, and more. Now, we're taking it to the next level with a new name, a fresh look, and more ways to serve you. Offering the same outstanding service you've always counted on, while bringing you everything you need for your home. Queen City Home Store. Same great service, more possibilities. Visit us at queencityonline.com.
What's up, everyone? This is Jenna with Crown Town Cannabis, Charlotte's first dispensary. Now, if you're looking to get into gardening and not the kind where you get your hands dirty, you need to come and check us out at any of our multiple stores across the state of North Carolina. We have everything in there to get you started on your gardening journey, and a team full of educated staff that'll help walk you through the different products and what you can do with them. Now, if you don't have the time to get into the store, check us out at cltcbd.com for a full range of products and descriptions on how to get your gardening journey started.
Let's face it, we do not like bugs, and especially spiders and ants. Unwanted pests in the home are not only creepy, they can also spread sickness and cause significant damage to the structural integrity of our homes. Kilo Exterminating has been taking care of pest control problems in the Charlotte area for over 70 years with award-winning customer service. Moisture readings are standard with all crawl space inspection. Call Kilo Exterminating at the first sign of infestation, 704-333-9855, or online at kilo.biz. Again, that's 704-333-9855.
Hi, I'm Sam Attero of AteroMedia.com, and I love empowering my clients and partners to make the most out of today's latest digital media tools. We specialize in building production systems and podcast studios for small to mid-sized churches and local businesses here in Charlotte. Do you need new media production gear? Do you need help learning how to use it? You're in great hands with our family business, Attero Media of Charlotte. That's ETTARO Media.com.
Have a comment or question for the show? Call us 704-227-8986. That's 704-227-8986. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back. Eating my biscuit Uncle Red brought in to me from Hardee's. I'm not a breakfast eater, but that's a pretty good
I'm
biscuit.
not on.
At any rate, thank you so much. Talking about clothes dryers for the break. I'm going to go for further. You know, I told you the principles behind the appliance itself. Well, it's all about airflow. It's all about airflow and heat, right? It's what clothes dry. That's what dries clothes. And then you got a gallon to a gallon and a half of water, and that can be less because of the new high spinning washing machines that spin most of the water out. But you've got roughly, let's just say, a gallon of water with each load of clothes you dry. Where's the water go? It goes out as steam, condensation through the back of that dryer. But over time, the back of the dryer, the port, the exhaust out the back of the dryer clogs up with lint between there and the exterior of your house. And a lot of people I'm speaking of right now, or two, don't even know where that vent goes or how it goes. And you should know, because you've got 220 volts, 30 amp service feeding that dryer. The hotter it gets, the more energy you use. And you don't know you're using it. You don't know. But trust me, if your dryer vent's clogged up or you have restriction due to flex hose behind your clothes dryer, you're spending too much money on drying clothes. And you're not even aware of it because it's incremental, but it can be unbelievably expensive and unsafe. Because if you restrict the airflow, just like with that hair dryer, you put your hand over the end of a hair dryer, you can see that element light up. Same principle, same thing happens to a clothes dryer when the vent is restricted. That's why we preach clean your vent, clean your vent. I cleaned dryer vents for darn near 15 years straight with all metal dryer vent. And the reason I did it, because I wanted to be the guru. Ego. I guess you'd say that. You know, and I became that.
Sure you did.
You know, I didn't know a lot about clothes dryers. And I've taken a few clothes dryers apart, put them back together. So I speak from experience. And I don't understand, I'm just going to throw this out there. Why people, this is consumerism in America. Why people go out like that one lady. She said, well, I just go buy a new washer and dryer together. Why did people do that? They think they got to buy them in pairs. So they'll match. They're behind a door. You can't see them.
Tell people about the surfactant.
Surfactant. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Glad you brought that up. Not only a surfactant is something that causes sticky, okay, that causes something to adhere to something, such as clothes dryer sheets. These smell good sheets you put in your clothes dryers, they are a no-no. You should not use those for two reasons. One, they've got a surfactant that will get on your dryer vent and cause sticky, and it will cause adhesion of the lint to the dryer vent itself. Yep, it really does do it. Although there's some sheets out there that aren't as sticky, and they market accordingly, but the chemicals. Did I say chemicals? That's the bad side to dryer sheets. Y'all think it smells good? It does. Oh, they smell fresh and smelly good, flowery. Woo! But the chemicals that created that smell are very harmful to your health. And you can do your research. Do your research. Now, there's some on the market now that are safe and organic and all that mess. And that's cool because I've got some. Because somebody's living with me now that wants them. And that's okay. But if it were my way, I wouldn't have a dryer sheet in my dryer.
Well, if you wash the clothes and you do it correctly and the washing machine works, and you throw the clothes in a clothes dryer and you throw a couple balls of tinfoil rolled up in there, it takes the static out. Ray taught me this 15 years ago. And you don't have any chemical in the dryer and there's no static. And your clothes smell clean anyway to me because they went through the washing machine and now they went through this heat cycle in the dryer. So why does it need to smell different?
When did they ever start using dryer sheets?
What you
Long
know,
time ago,
clothes dryers didn't hit the scene in America till the 60s.
Okay.
People had clotheslines.
Yeah, I
They
didn't
had
know- I
solar
didn't know
dryers,
that.
clotheslines.
I just didn't know with the sheets. It just seems kind of like
Solar
a
dryer.
cash
I never
grab
heard
to
him
me.
say that before.
That's a solar dryer.
A solar dryer, yeah.
That's clothesline. You know, and then in the 60s, dryers hit the market. And then here we are today, 2025, and you got to go buy two. You don't buy one, you buy the washer and dryer together because they're pretty red. They're red metal flake, and they're so pretty. Come here, let me show you my new washer and dryer. It's pretty. Do 100 mile an hour in second.
Mhm.
No.
That's what it seems like. People are
Well-
treating it like it's a car.
They do.
The latest and greatest.
And they don't know how to measure before they go buy one to see if it fits the room.
Because there is two sizes in
No,
width.
there's more than two.
Well,
Now they got the clothes dryers where you can buy the washer and dryer together, and it's all one unit. And they don't do too well,
that's
from what I
what they
understand.
put in the RVs and they don't do too good.
No, they've got some. It's a new product. It's new, relatively new. It's been in the not Charlotte, on the national scene in America for about 5 to 10 years now. And I asked, Roddy was on the show, Roddy Player. And by the way, big shout out to Queen City. Big.
Yeah,
big.
they've been running a big sale.
Oh, Queen City Home Store. They've
Yeah.
donated 2 TVs to the podcast studio and a vent hood and stuff for the toolbox. And they stepped up and really supported the show here. And,
Thank you, Queen City.
you know, really helped out a great deal. And good peoples. Not because they give me stuff or donate stuff.
No, they've been
They're
running a
just-
gigantic sale from about 2 weeks ago. And then they extended it because I've seen it on television. They got so much stuff, not counting the scratch and dent stuff.
Oh, the scratch and dent stuff. I went it was Thursday afternoon. I took a trip out to corporate out on Queen City Drive near Billy Graham Parkway. And they've got a great discount store out there that you might be interested in going by and check it out. They got some great products, great sales.
But
great,
you get the warranty and stuff with it anyway.
Yeah. They've got some scratch and dents in the back. They've got some mattress furniture. Queen City Home Store expanded, new products, new stores, all that stuff. But I can't thank them enough. They've been very supportive. They also support the industry. NARI, they're big sponsors for NARI, the National Association of Remodeling Industry, which next hour, I will bring you up to date on NARI meeting this month. It's going to be at Cambria. I'll talk about that. What's Cambria? You know what Cambria is, Christian?
It sounds familiar. I feel like you've talked about it before.
I
but
did. I talked about it last year.
but I don't
Cambria
remember.
is a brand of solid stone countertops. Solid, I say stone or synthetic or whatever. Now there's so much. Is it man-made? Is it natural? Well, the man-made's supposedly a better product nowadays, quartzite and all those products. But we're going to have a show all about that from 3 or 4 different directions because the countertop market has exploded in Charlotte.
Yeah, and it's been around a while
Oh,
because
God.
we had some people on years ago when that first started, and it was like 95% of it was true granite.
Yeah,
But they-
Ubatuba.
But they do what?
I called it Ubatuba.
No, but
That was the name of a granite that
but
you
they-
saw everywhere, Ubatuba.
but they crush it all up and then they put some kind of resin in it Then they cook it and press it,
Uh-huh.
and it was so tight grained that you could not stain it, and it was good for medical stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, it passed medical grade. In other words, you could use it in a lab, and that was the big deal,
Now
because
now about all of it is.
yeah,
Come a long way. But we're gonna. I've got some shows coming up about that. And once again, we're moving the studio here. We're going to be moving out to North Charlotte in the podcast studio, the Toolbox, and excited about it. Had a meeting with Sam yesterday. Got some finer details nailed down, and get the TVs up, and we'll be broadcasting from that. During the weekday, actually, we'll be live, and we'll give you a rundown of that as we move closer to it. We will be doing this show live on an afternoon, and we'll be, I'll have a schedule up. We are redoing the website. All these changes has been coming, and I put off the new website because of it. A lot of things going on.
And the show will be on Saturday mornings at the usual time, just won't be live.
There you go. It'll be canned when we do like Tuesday or whatever afternoon we do it. And we're going to have a schedule, and we're going to do some more podcasts around Put Tools in Schools and trades coming up. So really excited about the possibilities. So stay tuned for more info on that. It will be on Put Tools in Schools website as well, puttoolsinschools.org, which I will talk about here on the show today in depth, actually, as I always do, because folks, we're in dire straits when it comes to needing service people, needing people in the trades, critical thinking. But we're going to talk about that. We need your help. Puttoolsinschools.org. We're going to take a break. We'll be back. Hour 2 coming your way.
Grab another cup of coffee and join us for hour 2. Ray and Uncle Red reunited, and it feels so good. Isn't that how the song goes? A trip down memory lane, talking the trades, the current state of the industry, and also what might need to change. About Your House is brought to you in part by PutToolsInSchools.org, connecting students to tools of the trades and raising awareness of the many career pathways. Also brought to you in part by Queen City Home Store. Queen City Home Store is a family-owned store. They've been serving the Carolinas for over 70 years. They're the largest independent appliance retailer in the Carolinas, constantly growing and taking pride in the experience that they offer customers with a knowledgeable sales staff, product selection, and lowest price guarantee. So sit back, relax, and enjoy some time with us. And now, here's your host, Ray Terry.
All right, welcome back to About Your House, hour number 2. Talking about NARI, the National Association of Remodeling Industry. They have a meeting every month, and I recommend it. I talk about it because I still am involved with NARI, the National Association of the Remodeling Industry of Greater Charlotte, because I was a remodeler. Primarily, I would say what you do in your career, I'd say I remodeled houses. And I help people with maintenance, problems, issues, you name it. I think I've touched it in a house. Tried to keep up, try to stay current, although in today's world it's impossible. But if you want to stay in touch with good, solid professionals, learn more about the trade of remodeling. And remodeling is different from new construction in so many ways. And it's not trade specific. It's a general category that deals with remodelers. And remodeling is a different can of worms. Wouldn't you agree with that?
I absolutely agree.
All right, this meeting this month is October 23rd, which is Thursday. I will not be there because I am going to the hills. And it's 5 to 8 p.m., and it's going to be at Cambria. Cambria is up in Concord, 160 International Drive, right off Poplar 10, I do believe, or up that way. It's easy to get to. Anyway, the date, like I said, Thursday, October 23rd, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. If you're a remodeler or a newbie to the industry and want to learn more, it's a great place to network and learn more about the trade of remodeling. So there you go. In January, I must speak ahead here. I'm excited about that because we're going to be at Queen City Home Store, the corporate store out on Queen City Drive. And we're going to set up basically a podcast studio and do live interviews with people in NARI, members of NARI, and talk about what they're looking for and help. And hopefully we're there to promote the trades and career opportunities and pathways in the remodeling field. Speaking of that, a guy from American Woodcrafters, I think that's the name of the outfit. I'll check that. Bruce Zaidman called me last night, left me a message. And this is what it's all about, and when I say it's what it's all about, I'm gonna read a text. Hey, Ray, Bruce here, Bruce Zaidman. And it's Friday evening. We're kicking back, enjoying a cold one then during the weekend anyway. I have got an opportunity. This is the opportunity. I'm looking for a young guy, some skills, not necessarily all skills. Basically, for now, to work in the shop, building cabinets for us, and some of the field work. And of course, an opportunity to learn. He doesn't have to be a real skilled carpenter. But anyway, give me a call, and I really desperately need somebody. Now get a guy and leave. I lost a guy and got to replace him. So there's an opportunity for a young graduate of high school to get an opportunity in the remodeling field, because American Woodcrafters, they do a lot of kitchen work. And kitchen work is probably some of the most detailed carpentry work you're going to do. I know because I did it for 40 years. And there's an opportunity right there. So if you want to know more information, you can reach out to me, and I'll put you in touch with Bruce. And I'm not hard to get a hold of. My contact info is on my website. It's on puttoolsinschools.org. I'm not hard to get a hold of. So if you're looking for an opportunity, or you're new to Charlotte and you know some carpentry skills and you're looking for a job, great company. So, hey, give me a shout. That's what we do.
I'm going to throw something in there that you were talking about the remodeling being so complicated.
Well, different.
Well,
I guess
it's actually more complicated because I spent most of my life building large structures onto existing structures, and all of it, everything's supposed to be perfect when it's built. Well, unfortunately, it doesn't turn out like that, and you don't know it until you go in to do the work. I mean, it's crazy. So everything about, you can be living in a home And you can think, well, my builder did a terrific job with his house and it's perfect. But then all of a sudden you want to add, I'm just doing this, throwing this, I'm just making this up as we go. You want to add a room, or you want to put some kind of, if you got big enough property, maybe you want to put a room out in the back or something like that. There is about 15 or 20 things you need to know, and you don't want to have any way to find out about it unless you do some research, some critical measuring, because nobody knows for sure exactly where people put plumbing, where they put electrical, where they put stuff in the ground, what's in the ground. I mean, it's like opening up a can of worms.
Yep.
And that's what makes remodeling so hard to do. And I'm going to use something Ray was just talking about, countertops in kitchens. If you don't think that kitchens are critical, and it comes down to the cabinet guy also, the cutting the granite, they come in and they make a pattern. They don't use a template. They make it and they fit that template perfect. They make it, they glue it so it doesn't move, and they take it back and they make the granite fit the template perfectly. Then when they come in with the granite, if they're fortunate enough to get, or whatever top it is, not granite, what was the other stuff?
Well, there's Cambria, there's all kinds of.
Anyway, so when they come in with it,
all kinds of names and brands.
When they slide it up on the top of the cabinets, it fits everywhere.
Sure. And these countertops are normally cut with a CNC computer water jet.
Sure.
Where water jet cuts it, they put this template on a table. The computer copies it.
Yeah, it takes a picture.
Takes a picture, does its thing, and then it literally cuts that top just to match that template.
That's right.
And it's amazing. Technology, incredible.
And then the little rough edges and the rolling corners and stuff, they buff all that and they do all that by hand. But the reason they have to do that is because the corner of your kitchen might not be square. You've never noticed it because you didn't ever do anything about it.
No.
If the corner's not square, it screws the whole thing up. Everything gets messed up. So remodeling is, to me, is actually more work than a new construction.
And there's another big difference in new construction and remodeling. The homeowner lives there.
That's right.
And you're dealing with the homeowners on a daily basis, and the dog and the kids and their life.
That's right.
And that adds a whole different dynamic to the job. Now, some situations, as we've discussed here on this show, they move out.
Yeah.
They move out for said period and give the house up. And by far, general overall remodels are easier that way. But that's not always the case. If you're remodeling the kitchen, homeowners will stay there. And by the way, you remember Steve Matella?
Yeah.
I had breakfast with him last Friday, and he told me something that, it's nice to discuss jobs with a well-rounded, experienced remodeler.
I remember him as being a really good remodeler.
He is.
Top shelf.
He was, and he still is, but he's small. And I get with him about every 6 months or so. We have breakfast, and I listen to him gripe. And, there are a lot of gripes. Now, everybody can say there's not an issue, but there is an issue. And the issues are all dealing with what I've said is the biggest issue right now, and that's labor and finding qualified people to do the work. Because we've got a labor shortage. Not a labor shortage, we've got a smart shortage.
That's right.
We've got kids out here that have not been exposed to the opportunities or the pathways involved in construction, automotive, welding, masonry, on and on and on.
Just
and
pick
on
one.
and on.
You can pick anything.
Just look around you. Right now, wherever you're at, look around you. Because everything you see in your home was put there with two hands and a mind.
That's right.
The drywall, the painting, the floor coverings, the electrical, the plumbing, all of it. Every bit of it was put there with two hands and minds and human beings.
It does not build itself.
Yep. And by the way, robots will never take the place of human beings. Only in certain areas, but they will in certain areas. AI, coders, all these techie guys, y'all can be replaced with AI. You can't replace workers, service techs, and that sort of thing with robots. You can't. Now there's certain areas you can, granted, but for going in, getting in a truck, driving that truck, walking to the front door, going in there and checking, doing troubleshooting on HVAC units, on plumbing, on anything requires the human element.
That's right.
Now, one day maybe robots will, but I won't be around to see it.
Well, they make units. We're not going to get into this real deep, but they've been making units for years that you can scan from the truck, just like the guy scans your car.
Yeah,
and plugs
Bluetooth.
in Bluetooth. He can check and maybe get a good idea of what's wrong. But a really good service tech can be at your house 10 minutes and he will know what the problem is on HVAC, a gas furnace, or anything. If he's been doing it a while and somebody's trained him well, his mentor was really good.
Yep.
He doesn't need to do anything. You tell him the symptoms, and on the way to the job, he'll probably already figure out where to go look before he gets there.
That's right.
That's when they're really good.
You said a word just then. I want to stop and talk about a minute,
What?
if we may. What'd you call it? His mentor.
Yeah. If you're mentored by somebody that does lousy work, then you grow up thinking that the lousy work is good work because he keeps telling you that. Then all of a sudden you go somewhere later and you see somebody that's a first-class operation and you think, whoa, but you didn't know that going in because you were training. So unfortunately, there's a good many people that don't do first-class work and don't worry about it because all they're after is the almighty dollar. And along the way, some of the people that work for them don't really learn the correct way to do stuff.
Well, speaking of mentors, part of the organizational key objectives to put tools in schools, one of the key objective is to find mentors for kids, because you can't really get active in the industry situation like it is unless we have industry involved.
That's
And
right.
mentors such as myself, such as Uncle Red, and I can go on and on and on, but we need mentors. Where are we going to get them from? Where are we going to get people who can teach, who can mentor kids? Where are we going to find them? I mean,
Okay, so let me throw something in there. This is kind of in what
Please
you're talking
do.
about. Okay, the union, and I'm not a big union person. I almost joined the pipe fitters union here in Charlotte. It's not a big plumbers and pipe fitters, steam fitters, years and years ago. I almost joined, and at that time they had a lockout and they weren't taking anybody. But anyway, they have always had an apprentice program. And they did work for really big companies on large projects. And they had an apprentice program. When I first went to work for Grinnell in the sprinkler division, I was an apprentice for a good many years. Well, for a year or two. And that was fine. I made a pretty good salary as an apprentice. Now, did they teach me a bunch of right ways? They taught me all the right ways to do everything. You know what I mean? They worked me to death, but that was okay
Right,
because I was
sure.
young.
and
But I was learning.
you wanted to learn.
But I was paying attention.
Sure.
Okay. The union has always trained their people. And there's mechanical people in this town right now that don't use anything but union pipe fitters, welders, electricians, and all that. There's downsides to it and there's upsides to it, but they train their own people and then they move them up.
We're going to talk about unions because right now we have Southeastern Millwright and Carpenters Trust, which is a union right here in town. We're going to talk about it when we get back and the opportunities kids have through that union resource. We'll talk about it when we get back. More about your house coming your way right after this break. Libretto's Pizzeria, a go-to place every Sunday morning for Sunday brunch, right before the football games. Load up with your favorite dish, be it breakfast, lunch, great menu. They've got. I'm gonna tell you something. One of the things I love is their entree. Excuse me, their appetizers. I apologize. They've got their fried calamari is off the hook. I'm gonna tell you, make a bulldog break his chain. Stuffed mushrooms. I have had none better anywhere you go. A lot of people love the eggplant rollatini. It's awesome. Had some 2 weeks ago. That's Libretto's Pizzeria, located in the Ballantyne area. Just Google them to find your way out there. If you don't like Italian, they got wings, they got burgers, they got deli sandwiches. They've got it covered. Libretto's Pizzeria, you can't get any better Italian food in Charlotte. Good New York style pizza. Give them a shot. The Sunday brunch every Sunday. Sunday brunch starts at 10 a.m., runs through 2 p.m. They've got a Sunday brunch special menu. Check them out. Go online. Check them on the events tab. That's Libretto'sPizzeria.com.
Job? The number one enemy to your home is water. Most homes are built with small, inadequate gutters and small downspouts. ABS Insulating has a division of the company that does nothing but gutter services. All gutter services: cleaning, maintaining, repair, new downspouts, replacement, and new gutters with many types available. They're a leader when it comes to gutter protection. Call ABS Insulating today, 704-821-4343 or absinsulating.com.
There's big news in the Carolinas. Queen City Audio, Video, and Appliances is now Queen City Home Store. For over 70 years, we've been your trusted retailer for appliances, electronics, and more. Now, we're taking it to the next level with a new name, a fresh look, and more ways to serve you, offering the same outstanding service you've always counted on, while bringing you everything you need for your home. Queen City Home Store. Same great service, more possibilities. Visit us at queencityonline.com.
Let's face it, we do not like bugs and especially spiders and ants. Unwanted pests in the home are not only creepy, they can also spread sickness and cause significant damage to the structural integrity of our homes. Kilo Exterminating has been taking care of pest control problems in the Charlotte area for over 70 years with award-winning customer service. Moisture readings are standard with all crawl space inspection. Call Kilo Exterminating at the first sign of infestation, 704-333-9855, or online at kilo.biz. Again, that's 704-333-9855.
Have a comment or question for the show? Call us 704-227-8986. That's 704-227-8986. Now, back to the show.
Every house has them. Has what? Floor covering. You can't go in the house without it, right? Unless it's raw concrete. But they can handle that too. Floor Coverings International, Southeast Charlotte. But Southeast Charlotte, don't let that scare you away. They'll come anywhere you are. Belmont, Mount Holly, Cornelius, Huntersville. You name it, they got you covered. They will bring the showroom to you. They got great showroom consultants right there in the trucks. They drive them to you. They have what you need. Give them a call, talk to them. They'll bring whatever you might think you need with them and then some. They'll hook you up. They'll set you straight on what you may need and not even know about. Whether it's LVP, laminate, hardwood floor, engineered flooring, they've got everything. Carpet. Yep, they got carpet. You name it, they have your floors covered, literally. Floor Coverings International, Southeast Charlotte. Just Google them. It'll come up. Go to their website or give them a call, 704-845-3567. That's Floor Coverings International, Southeast Charlotte. All right, welcome back. Got a comment on Facebook, lady. She recommended Godly Granny dryer balls for your clothes dryer. You know, we talked about clothes dryers last hour. And so I looked them up. They're all natural wool dryer balls. Now, I don't put balls in my clothes when I dry them. Now, I know a lot of people do, you know, and I appreciate you throwing this out there. But the great things about them, there's no chemicals, no fillers, no synthetics, no fragrances. And they're all natural, soft, safe, and fluffy. Use 3 balls per load. Use 4 to 6 balls for large loads. Wow. You can buy them online, of course, but anyway, I just thought I'd throw that out there. There's all kind of products out there in the marketplace, and do they work? I don't know. She recommended them, so you can give it a shout. There you go. And where were we when we left?
It can't cost that much to try them one time.
No, they're only $9.
Yeah.
Like $9
I mean,
for 6.
You can't even go eat a meal for $9 at a fast food
Not
place.
anymore. You can't. You know, used to you could go to McDonald's get a fish at less than $5. Now it costs you $7.
Hey, I'm so old. I remember when the first McDonald's opened in Charlotte, and a hamburger was 15 cents.
Where was the first McDonald's?
Out there on Independence Boulevard, right past the Bojangles Arena.
True Golden Arches were out there.
Yep, and they had not sold $1 million. They used to put them when it went to 1 million, 2 million, 3 million.
Mm-hmm.
They used to do it at every store. They didn't do it, but anyway. And they made their own potatoes. They cut their potatoes in the basement and made their own French fries.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And if you worked there, you went down and made French fries. And the French fries were insane. They were so good. But that's what helped them get there.
Had peeling on them and everything. They're fried.
So
good.
you'd get,
That was
but you
back
would
in
go,
the day.
you could get 15-cent hamburger, 20-cent cheeseburger, and some French fries for maybe 15 or 20 cents. For $1, you'd get change back and you could get a drink. And you didn't sit down, you just walked up to a window. You know what I mean? So
Yep.
they've
Back
come
in-
a long way.
Back in the day.
Well, they've regressed, actually.
That was back in the day where Commonwealth Avenue
Came down to Independence.
came down to Independence, went up Eastway Drive,
That's right.
and then Commonwealth
Commonwealth went to the
was
left.
Eastway Drive went to the right. Commonwealth went to the left. Independence this way, that way, and in the other side of the street, Commonwealth. It's a big intersection.
And if it rained a tremendous amount,
that whole
you'd have a
intersection.
foot or two of water right there where Independence is. So that's been a long time ago.
A long time ago. Yeah, and I remember the day too where, speaking of all that, Independence Boulevard was a drag strip.
Oh, yeah, while they were building
In the
it.
late 60s. No.
Oh, no, we used to
late
race out there all
60s,
day.
late 60s, early 70s. Muscle cars, man.
There was
Before
a-
other dealerships took over.
No, there was a
Oh, no,
Shoney's.
That was Shoney's. Shoney's was a big place to cut through and
The
see all
Shoney's
your
big boy.
buddies. And,
Yep. And then Babe Malloy's was across from the Coliseum. There was Babe Malloy's Drive-In. South 21 is still there.
I was about to say South 21's still there.
South
Yep.
21 was
Yep.
killer. But there was a South 21 there. There was a South 21
South
on
Boulevard.
on
One over there
South
in
Boulevard.
Brookshire, too.
and there was
Well,
one. That was,
Brookshire came a lot later, but the food's always been the same. I mean, you can go anywhere and you can't find the food like they make it. I don't know what they do, but good people. They had to be good or they wouldn't have lasted that long.
Better say they've been around a long time.
but Charlotte's changed dramatically since those days. I mean, it's blown up.
For the worse.
Well, I guess it's who you talk to. I talked
Well,
to
if you ask me, I'll tell you it's it's for the worse.
And Ray's right. We've drag raced a lot up and down Independence Boulevard, you know, because everybody went out picking for somebody. You know?
that was the era of muscle cars, GTOs, Chevelle
Yeah.
Super Sports,
Oh, yeah.
and we can't leave out the Dodge Charger RT and the GTX.
Oh,
Did you
yeah.
win, Ray?
But-
Did you win or lose?
I mopped the floor with a lot of GTOs and Super Sports with the Dodge Charger. Yeah, I got lots of tickets too. I lost my driver's license a time or two.
That happens.
I was young and
Young and dumb.
Yeah.
You
I lost my driver's license. I
Yeah, he did too. I mean,
I lost.
I got work privileges, but I got a few.
Oh.
I got carried away.
I just walked for 6 months.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's the price you pay for having fast cars around you.
That's right. I cured it finally when I bought a $50 car. And then when I finally got tired of driving it, I bought a new Volkswagen, and it didn't accelerate nearly as fast. So I saved
Did you
my
buy
life.
a new Volkswagen too?
I bought a brand new Volkswagen
So did I.
in 1971.
I did too.
Did you?
Yeah, the round tail lights.
Yeah,
Remember the round
yeah.
tail lights, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Had a fuel gauge in it. Held 10 gallons of gas.
Yeah. I love my Volkswagen.
Yeah.
Man, I did. A little yellow one. What color was yours?
Blue, that light blue color.
Like Chapel,
You'd
Carolina
go,
blue.
you'd go to get one of them, and all you got to pick was the color
Yeah.
because they didn't have Super Beetles then. They were just coming out with them.
Yeah, they did.
That's some old history.
Yep. I tell you.
They're awfully dependable, though, and they're worth a lot of money now.
Oh, yeah.
If you had one stuck back in a building and the floor wasn't rotted out of it, they're worth a lot of money.
My grandma had one of those Grand Wagoneers, the original. It's tan.
Yeah.
Right.
Now they got the new Grand Wagoneers. Those look awful compared to what those other ones
All
look
that's
like.
changed tremendously. You know, it really has.
Well, everything's plastic now. It's all held together with
it's
snaps.
cheaply
With
made.
snaps, yeah. And then somebody bumps you and it's a total
Oh yeah.
because nobody wants to fix. Nobody wants to fix cars anymore.
Have you noticed how people really don't care anymore about hitting you in parking lots?
Uh-uh.
Here, I mean, in the past, 2 years, it seems like people just don't care about if they hit you a little bit or not. I got 4 battle scars on my bumpers on my van now that I didn't have 2 weeks ago.
Huh.
Mary's car's got 2 on it. They weren't there. I mean, people just don't care anymore.
Well, I'm not knocking anything, and
What
I'm
were
not.
you Walmart parking lot?
Hey,
I don't know. I don't
I'm
know.
not trying to. I'm not trying to start a war on the radio.
Oh, come
you
on,
know,
let's
but
do it.
I don't care if I do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I went to a PowerPoint presentation 2 years ago, and the guy worked for the state for 25 years and compiles data for where we are right here all the way to the Tennessee line. In other words, what we consider going into the western part of North Carolina, right? 83% of the people here are not from here.
Right. Correct.
Okay. So I'm not saying anything else. 83% of the people who are driving along with you are not from North Carolina. They didn't grow up here.
It's transplant state.
Yeah. You know, so I'm not saying anything about people's driving. I'm just saying
They don't know how to drive. There you go. Said it
Well,
for you.
Well,
you can say that. I got to live here.
I'm going to go another place. All right, here we go.
Go.
Leaves, North Carolina hills, autumn, beautiful, beautiful fall leaf colors. Okay. I'm going to mountains next week for 2 nights up around Bakersfield, Barnersville. I think it's got a little cabin we're going to go to. And I'm going to talk about it because we just said 80% of people aren't from here.
Nope.
And they're from other states, obviously, and other places. And some of you are from upstate New York and Pennsylvania and all that. And I'm not talking to you what I'm about to say because y'all have some beautiful fall leaves up there.
Sure.
Well, the peak season for fall leaves in Charlotte, around Charlotte, the mountains. And one of the beautiful benefits of living in Charlotte is the mountains 2 hours away.
Yep.
Actually, anywhere from 1.5 hours to 2.5 hours.
That's right.
You can be anywhere in the mountains, be it the Virginia line, in which I'm headed. I'm headed about 2 hours and 45 minutes away, which automatically tells you it's west.
Yeah.
It's real west. It's west of Asheville. It's about halfway between Asheville and Tennessee line. Anyway, point being, mid-October through early November is when you're going to find it. And it varies significantly with the elevations, you know, some being higher and lower and all that stuff. But if you've never been in North Carolina mountains, actually, I came back through the mountains when I crossed the country. And the highways are much better, but I'm anxious to see how much is still damaged due to Helene. So
Well,
we'll see.
We went last week and rode up close to Old Fort,
There
up
you
a
go.
little bit further, and then came in the back way down by Bat Cave and Chimney Rock all the way down to Lake Lure.
You did make it there?
Oh,
I mean,
yeah, we went through. And they keep saying, come up and see us, but there's nothing there to see. The damage is still there. The Corps engineers is still working to clean all the silt and dirt out of the lake. They'll be digging for a year. They're running trucks 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, hauling the dirt that ended up in the lake. They're going to take it back down to its original depth. They're not making it any bigger. But everything that was on the left side going up from the lake where the bridge was or where the flower bridge was, they took the flower bridge down.
I love the flower bridge.
Well, I did too, but some idiot took the rest of it that was standing down. But anyway, there's nothing up there. That's not the place to go. Now you can Chimney Rock Park. I think if you make a phone call, you can maybe go to Chimney Rock Park, but you can't.
They got the bridge back up.
There's nothing else to do. That's the problem. You go up there and hike a little bit and everything, but you can't do anything else. So you might, and I'll tell you another thing. Part of the parkway's messed up because of the government shut down because they don't have anybody to watch the parkway and stuff. So if you're wanting to go to Grandfather Mountain or something, you might want to make a phone call before you take off going up there.
On the parkway.
Because you might not be able to go where you want to go.
Glad you brought that up.
Or Mount Mitchell, for that matter. Mount Mitchell's a
state park,
and it's a hike, and it's pretty neat. It's the highest peak east of the Mississippi. But anyway.
Well,
since you started that, I
wanted you to, and I'm glad you did.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about the road.
My friend keeps up with it because we used to like to ride up there on the motorcycle. We used to go RVing up there. We went all the time. I'm sick over Lake Lure. To me, that was the greatest place in the world.
Yeah, that was devastating. The next morning when I saw Chimney Rock gone.
Oh, yeah.
Made me just sit down and cry a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Really.
It was devastating. That we grew up there.
Yeah.
Grew up. Anyway. Well, there you go. All right. What's new with you?
But our leaves supposedly starting this week up at the top, the highest elevations are starting to turn really good. So there's leaves to see, and they will progressively work their way down as it stays cold. And as the month goes along.
Hopefully we don't have a lot of rain. And speaking of rain, it's supposed to 80% chance of rain tomorrow, Sunday. So expect rain tomorrow in the area. And something else I want to throw out here real quick. Did you ever you met Sam Fleming, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever met him, Christian? Sam Fleming, huntergardens.org?
No, I haven't.
I don't think he's been here since you've been here, but Sam's tying a knot last night, I think it was. I'm going into his wedding celebration today, and I want to congratulate him and his new bride. Sam's one of my, I guess he called me a mentor as well to Sam. Sam was a great guy. He's heads up 100gardens.org, another nonprofit taking growing aquaponic systems into schools and learning institutions alike and prisons and incarcerated people, teaching them how to grow organically through aquaponics program. Great guy. And growing up, all these kids are growing up, getting married, going off, and I congratulate both of them, wish them a lot of happiness. I really do. But they've got a very successful nonprofit of, working with schools, putting aquaponic programs, growing fresh vegetables, teaching kids about nutrition. It's a good program, great program. And we'll get him back on the show and, learn more about the program, where it's at. They definitely have a lot of successes in the program across not only North Carolina, but many, many other states as well. So they've grown quite well in helping a lot of kids. All right. Got Uncle Red in the studio today. What have you been up to?
Just stay busy all the time. There's something pops up all the time. I was going to mention, and I'm not going to get hung up on wells, but if you did buy a house with a well, and it does have a well house, North Carolina, years ago, North Carolina we used to get a lot of snow, and it used to really be cold. Now it's kind of crazy, but since they've done such a wonderful job of making filament light bulbs go away, you can still find them, but you have to look for them. So now's a good time to be looking around and see if you can buy. They don't need to be gigantic heat lamps or anything. They can be 40-watt filament light bulbs. They cannot be LED because the LEDs don't put off any heat. But if you're used to putting a light bulb in your well house, you need to buy you a couple, 2 or 3 if you find them. And then you can put you a drop
A-bulbs.
A-bulbs. They got Edison threads on them, just like a regular light bulb, like the LEDs got. But you need to be thinking about protecting your well, whatever you do to protect your well, because it will get cold, and it will get cold enough to freeze every once in a while. I don't care whether we get any snow or not. You know what I mean? So people need to be thinking about it.
Well, as we approach winter, you need to think about what to think about.
Well, you need to think about the water spigots outside and having covers for them instead of waiting to the last minute and running trying to buy them.
Little spigot bonnets.
Yep. And then you need to, if you don't use the garden hoses, you need to
drain
the garden hoses and roll them up and stuff so they're not all knotted up. There's just a few, they're simple things, but you mess around and forget about it. And then all of a sudden cold weather gets there. And even the expensive hoses, they don't roll up very well when it's really cold.
Now you can hear them crack, though, and you can damage and literally ruin a good hose because of it. So,
and the antifreeze in your car.
Yep.
Making sure, and antifreeze, believe it or not, we're not going to get on a big automotive thing, but antifreeze, when it breaks down, when the percentage breaks down, it becomes a corrosive. And you got to remember, if it's in newer cars, it's in an aluminum engine or partially aluminum engine now.
And the radiator is partially
aluminum. And the radiator is aluminum. So, when somebody says, we probably need to drain the antifreeze out of your car and put some new antifreeze in it, they're not trying to sell you something. They're trying to keep you from ruining your automobile. It's like brake fluid. Brake fluid collects moisture. I know it's in a seal system. Brake fluid in a can with the lid screwed on will collect moisture. It's just the nature of the chemical. When you go into a dealership or someplace and they say, we really need to change the brake fluid in these lines if it's never been changed, they're doing you a favor, because the mechanism where the brake fluid goes to do the pressure disc brakes or drum brakes is cast iron. And the cast iron corrodes and rusts. So why would you want water in the brake fluid? Duh. It's not a big expensive thing. They're not just trying
it's not that expensive, but it is expensive because automotive labor is just as high as any other service.
If you go to a dealership, you got to pay the labor. Yeah.
And I'm a true story with me. I dropped my brake fluid reservoir cap one time. Well, did I replace it? No, not immediately.
Oh.
I didn't know any better.
Yeah.
I should have, but I didn't. Yeah. This has been over the past 5 years.
Okay.
And so I left the lid off. That's a big no-no.
That's a real big no-no.
Big no-no. That will literally cause you brake failure.
Sure it will.
But with water, it gets in your brake fluid. I learned what you just said the hard way.
Yeah. If enough water gets in there and then the cold weather comes, the ice forms in the brake line, and then you don't have any brakes.
There you go. It's a fact.
I don't know how we got on that, but
that's okay. We're here to tell you what we know. We'll share what little tidbits of intel we can share with you because we're old.
And if you don't believe it, you can go on to Google later and check us.
Google later. Yeah. Check it out. We won't lie to you. Matter of fact, we've already done our research.
The truth will set you free.
Every time. Guaranteed. Come on back. We'll tell some more. Rhino Lift is a licensed foundation repair and general contractor currently serving the greater Charlotte, North Carolina region. They provide expertise and services in foundation repair, crawl space repair, basement waterproofing, concrete repair and leveling, retaining wall repair, and geotechnical services. Rhino Lift was founded by two individuals with a single driving factor: to be as transparent and honest as possible with our customers so that we educate them to make the most informed buying decisions. We don't sell them anything if they don't need it. This transparency allows us to put the highest emphasis on customer service and the customer experience. We grew tired of seeing customers being duped into buying products, services they know nothing about. So our company focuses on educating our customers, tailoring solutions to meet our customers' goals, and creating a plan to protect their greatest asset together. We want to break the contractor stereotype. That's Rhino Lift Foundation Solutions. Go online, rhinofoundations.com. All right, welcome back. Sorry, we had a phone caller there. You got a question due to the phone call, or you want to do that now? Mr. Cunningham.
He was talking about the moisture. This is Mike from Lincolnton. He was agreeing with what you were saying about the brake fluid, but he was saying that the moisture content and the brake fluid, I couldn't exactly understand what he was saying, to tell you the truth. But he was talking about the moisture control, if it's like 3 years old or something like that with the brake fluid. Is that an issue?
Well, it can be, yeah. But
I hope I got that question.
No, because the controls in the brake systems are so much more sophisticated now than they used to be. I mean, used to drive, in the 30s and 40s, nobody thought much about it. But the controls of the brakes, the percentage to the front, the percentage to the rear and all has a lot more devices in the lines, and the moisture is not good for any of it.
Okay. I hope that answers your question, Mike. I'm sorry we couldn't put you on the air.
Moisture is detrimental to braking systems, and tremendously, actually. So therefore, it's important that we keep the caps on and keep it updated. But I will share this with you. I did get my brake fluid changed, about a year or so ago. But then I took it back, and guess what they recommended?
Doing it again.
Doing it again. I said, no, you just did it. I said, go back. Look, you just did it. Yeah, but it probably needs it again. I said, no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. So
No.
here we go again with upsell.
Yeah, really.
And that is popular in every trade there is.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you another thing. It's not somebody local. I have a sister lives in the eastern part of the state, down close to Rocky Mount. Air conditioner quit a couple days ago. She calls me. I said, read some names that are on the computer. I picked one. Pinnacle Heating and Air. Don't know anything about it. Looked like a small outfit, maybe close by. They had to drive 15 minutes to get there. She left him a message. The next morning, the guy calls. He said, we're going to come check it. It's a straight air gas furnace. There's a million of them in Charlotte. Condensers outside, coil in the ductwork and the air handler, and you got a gas furnace. Guy comes, two of them come. One guy goes outside. One guy pulls the stairs, goes upstairs. Pardon me. Micro switch in the drain pan. Drain line stopped up.
Yep.
Punches the drain line out, puts a pill in it, to help keep the bacteria out.
Sure.
Says the coil looks fine because she's religious about changing the filter, and the house is
Right.
squeaky clean. Guy checks the Freon, comes back around and said, Freon's fine in the unit. And the drain's running fine. $125.
That
She wrote him a check. He said, I'll send you a bill. She said, I'm just going to write you a check right now.
yeah, save that stamp.
Yeah, but save the name. I said, save the guy's name because you got a guy that's honest.
Right. That's a great price on a great service right there.
Yeah. Now, he probably had 10 more places to go that day, but he knocked it out. She said, they just move right on along. I said, well, that's the way they make their money. They don't make money talking to people,
Yeah, that's true.
but I
I appreciate you sharing that.
well,
because
there are some honest people around.
there are, and there's some great people around. I'm not by no means telling, that everybody's a crook out there.
And I'm going to tell you something else. There's a guy, I sit and eat breakfast up there where I live, close to up off 150. And there's a HVAC contractor. Guy was a service tech himself, built a company. Was Accurite. He's a carrier dealer. He's got about 15 trucks. Nicest guy in the world, but he trained everybody. As they came through the system, he trained them. They know everything. He didn't just take them and throw them out there.
He mentored them and
He
trained
has
them.
mentored and trained everybody. And his guys know their stuff, and they work in pairs, and they're out doing change outs, doing heat pumps, doing new installs. They do it all. I see them every morning. They're there on time. They get their gas. They go up to that building. They load up the equipment in the vans and trucks. They go to the job. The most organized people I've ever seen in my life. And they don't mess around because I'll kid with them. I say, getting cold. Those heat pumps are going to start switching over. And they'll start laughing, because they know I know something about it. So there are good people that have good employees.
And let me tell you this, a lot of people are cutting their heat on for the first time this week. And when you do, you will notice a funky smell.
It's going to be burning the dust off of the unit or the coil.
So if you smell something funny, it's just dust and dirt going off the evaporator coil. You're heating it up.
And if you push the thermostat, if you tap the button and it goes up more than 3 or 4 degrees, the electric strip heat's going to come on. It's just like a toaster element, and it's got dust on it, and it's going to smell like something's burning. Get over it because it'll quit in just a few minutes.
Regardless of what kind of heat you got, if it's gas or electric, you're going to have an odor.
Sure you are.
And what you're doing is burning dirt.
That's it. You're basically burning dust.
You're burning dust, and that's what you're doing, and that's what you're smelling. It will go away. And, duct cleaning. A lot of people talk about, is duct cleaning required? Yeah. If it's an old home and you don't know how much dust and dirt's been in that duct or how it's been taken care of through the years. And I would recommend anybody that bought an older home, buys an older home, to think about your duct work and having it cleaned.
And if it's older and it has galvanized duct work under it, you can almost bet that the joints have never been sealed.
Right.
And if they've never been sealed, because you have to remember when all that stuff was built in the 50s and 60s and early 70s, it was the code was just put it together and put the drives on it, and that was good enough. 33% of the air that blows through it goes under the house or in the attic. And it doesn't cost all that much. If the ductwork's still good, it doesn't cost that much to go back and put the mastic on the joints and stop all the leaks. So why do you want to burn energy and blow it someplace where you're not there?
Exactly. And you can also insulate that ductwork. And then a lot of times, this is a fact, and we'll talk about it. They want to come in here and say, you need new ductwork.
Yeah.
And why do I need new ductwork? Because your old ductwork is all galvanized metal ductwork. It's not insulated, and it leaks.
They still make galvanized ductwork.
And then again, some houses, true story, little lady up in the university area one year, I told her what was going to happen. I said, you need to call a company and have them come duct seal.
That was a long time ago.
No, it's about 20 years.
Yeah.
Is that a long time?
I remember you talking about it.
Yeah.
Off of 49.
And I told her, I says, well, I'm going to tell you, they're going to come out here if you call this company you've been calling, they're going to come out here and they're going to try to sell you new ductwork. And they're going to give you every reason in the world they've got on why you can't use your existing ductwork. Well, I'm telling you right now that you can use your existing ductwork, but what do I know? But I'm going to tell you this, call this company right here. I gave her the phone number and who to talk to, and I said, they'll come out here and do. But hold on, I'm missing part of the story. My apologies. Doing a lousy job telling my story. She called her company, and sure enough, played out exactly the way I said it would.
And it was some astronomical number.
It was unbelievable. And then she called me up and she says, Mr. Terry, you were right as could be on this. I called them. They came out here and they said exactly what you told me they'd say, and they wanted X amount of dollars. I said, now you call this company. Gave her the phone number. They came out and priced it. It was like a third, if not a third, as much as they wanted to replace all the ductwork. It was even less than a third. Yeah. And they came out and did a duct seal. And she called me about a week later and she says, Mr. Ray, Mr. Terry, I'm going to tell you, my house is so much cozier and it smells better too for some reason. It just has a different smell to it. It feels cleaner. I don't know. It just feels better since they did it. And I said, because you've sealed all the ductwork, you're not getting dust from the crawl space now that you were. So be careful. Get a second opinion. I would highly recommend it. Because
what's that thing you always say about older homes? Money pit.
They're money pits.
Yeah, you have to know going in that you're going to spend money to make it right.
Yeah, if you own a home, I was at a house 2 nights ago. I had to convert a three-prong range plug to a four-prong range plug for a new range. And I went over and the guy told me, he said, well, I got lots of little odds and ends to do. I said, and he was 32. Yeah. He was a young guy, 2 young kids, getting started in life. Nice home. And he said, yeah, I got lots of things. And I'll talk about owning a home and the list you may have. I'm going to talk about 3-way switches too, because that was a big one on him. He said, I got lots of switches that don't work right. I knew exactly what he was talking about. And I said, yeah, I can tell you all about them, but we'll talk about that and much more next hour as we got Uncle Red in the house and we're just talking about anything. If you've got something you want us to talk about, you can go on Facebook Live and text it to us or message it to us. You can text me 704-712-4644. That's 704-712-4644. Text me with something, and we'll answer it here on the air. That's About Your House, coming back your way right after top of the hour break.
Hour number 3, Ray and Uncle Red will continue the conversation about the trades, Charlotte, the city as a whole, and also they're going to solve all the world's problems. So stay tuned. You won't want to miss it. About Your House is brought to you in part by Carolina Foundation Solutions. Technical difficulties, my apologies. About Your House is brought to you by PutToolsInSchools.org, connecting students to tools of the trades and raising awareness of the many career pathways. Also brought to you in part by Queen City Home Store. Queen City Home Store is a family-owned store serving the Carolinas for over 70 years. They're the largest independent appliance retailer in the Carolinas, constantly growing and taking pride in the experience they offer customers with a knowledgeable sales staff, product selection, and lowest price guarantee. So sit back, relax, and enjoy some time with us. And now, here's your host, Ray Terry.
All right, welcome back. You're listening to About Your House every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m.
I'm
Right
not
here.
listening to you. I can't hear you.
You can't hear me. Well, plug the head. Oh, I hit your headset. Can you now? I hit that button. I may have broke it. I may have.
You didn't hit that. Wait a minute.
Can you hear me now? All right. I got Uncle Red in the house this Saturday, as you can tell. Can you hear me? All right. I'm going to have to get you another headset.
No, just wait a minute.
Okay. We were, how long has it been since you was you
Well, I was here a couple months ago, but
are you getting it now?
kind of halfway.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Anyway, he co-hosts. I'm sorry, we got a little technical error on his headset, which I'm gonna give him a new headset.
I got it.
You got it? Okay. You got it. He got it. he has got. When did you start working with your hands and your mind? Get close to the mic.
I went to work with digging ditches and digging footings by hand when I was about 16 years old.
Right.
For a grading contractor, a little small guy. I'd take a quart of water and a sandwich and stand in the middle of a field and hand dig footings for columns for like shopping centers. But he paid pretty good money, and he taught me how to drive a dump truck too, and not abuse the dump truck. So I learned a lot working for him. And then when I got older,
that was back in the day you could work on a construction site when you were 16.
Sure.
Now you can't.
Now you can't hardly work. Now you can't hardly work if you're 25.
When did that change?
I'm not sure when
OSHA
came
kicked in, they really threw a curve.
They developed another governmental agency called
red
OSHA.
tape.
More red tape, more bureaucracy, and a lot more money. However, it's all about safety and saving lives. I get that.
That was it. Yeah.
I get that. But now the rules get in the way of our youth learning construction.
Well, I was very fortunate. I had one of the biggest mechanical contractors in Charlotte. It wasn't just a couple miles from where I lived, and Southern Piping and Engineering.
Oh, yeah.
And they started in the 40s, 50s, 60s. And I mean, they put the big boilers in up at Appalachian State. I mean, we did big schools. We did dormitories at Western Carolina.
Y'all did then what Precision Plumbing does now.
That's right. But we were doing it.
Precision Plumbing is by far one of the largest commercial industrial plumbing outfits in Charlotte, and they only do commercial.
And we had a duct division, a controls division, an electrical division, a plumbing division, and a heating division. And we did schools and stuff. And the people in the family, all of them weren't family, but the lead people that were running the divisions, and we're all in one spot over there off Central Avenue at Kilbourne. They owned all that property. They had some of the best people in the world, and they would mentor you and let you work. I mean, we put underground steam lines in at UNC Charlotte. We put the second big boiler in. I don't mean a little boiler. I mean one, a monster in at UNC Charlotte. And I got to work on all of it. And I learned as I went. But I had worked for Grinnell in 66 doing sprinkler work for a while as an apprentice. And I just figured out I did not want to keep doing the same thing over and over. Sprinkler piping is very technical, but it's the same thing. It's like a puzzle, and you put it together over and over and over. And mechanical work, everything changes. You have to think all the time. So that's where I got my start. I did a few other things along the way and splintered off and did machine work and all kinds of stuff. But that's where I learned. When I did all the close tolerance machine work, building engines and stuff, you were talking, you got off on a tangent. We hadn't touched on it yet about millwright work.
That's where I wanted to go.
But I'm going to say something before Ray starts. Millwrights come into play when you're setting any kind of machinery, anything that's large, anything that operates, and there's a lot of robotic stuff now and all, and it has to be set up perfectly. I mean, there is no tolerance in it. It has to be perfect. So the guy that comes in to do it is a millwright, and he doesn't come in necessarily and move it and everything. Somebody else places it, and then they come in and they make it perfect. I mean, down to the thousands, partial thousands, because the machine doesn't function right unless it's exactly where it's supposed to be. And that's where the mill works. So, and it's delicate work. I'm talking about lasers and dial indicators and that kind of stuff. So I got a little bit exposed to the close tolerance work. So when we were setting equipment, I was a little bit fanatical about setting my big compressors and stuff, and making them perfect, so it's made me better at what I did. And along the way, I got a city card to do boilers and chillers in Charlotte, Mecklenburg, which you had to have to be on a big job, and I became a certified welder when I was fairly young and did a good many certifications, because I found out if you could certify and weld on pipe, you could make more money. I wanted to be able to make more money. I love doing the pipe work, but I wanted to make more money. And the way you make more money is learn more disciplines. So anyway, that was my rant for a little bit.
Well, Southern Millwright and Carpenters Trust here in town is off Back Creek Church. Well, actually, it's sitting on. It's sitting really right on Harris Boulevard, out near the college. And matter of fact, it's very close to Highway 49.
That's where Back Creek Church is. It turns off of 49.
Exactly, sure does. Well, there's a branch here. There's a learning center here in town, and they've got Millwright and Carpenters Union out there. And it is a union. It's Southeastern Millwright and Carpenters Union. And they're out on Back Creek Church Road. And they teach welding. They teach millwright. They teach carpentry, but it's union affiliated. I've been working with these people off and on since we started Put Tools in Schools, and they brought some of their instructors to some events. But I made a call to them about a welding simulator, and they bought two because of my phone call. But now, since they bought two, I rarely get them to an event. But it's a great learning facility out there. And, if you've got a high school kid and you're interested in possibly learning millwright, that's the place to go. That's Southeastern Carpenters and Millwright Council right here in town. And but one thing that bugs me about them is always somebody else. Every time I call, there's somebody else.
Well, I'll tell you one thing about it, though. Like I told you earlier, they train their people. They take your people and they train them as apprentices. And when they get ready to what they call turn out, if they need you, they put you in the system. Now, and normally you work around local where you live. But if the work gets slow around here, they'll give you can take a travel card if you're a union worker.
Right.
And you can go somewhere else and work, and they pay you the scale there.
Right.
So you can work. You might have to travel to work, but you can make money.
Well, unions are that way, such as the IBEW.
Yeah.
The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers. And since we bring up unions, they've got an apprenticeship. They work with CETI, Carolinas Electrical Training Institute, for their training. And there's so much opportunity, in all of this for kids.
Because the industry, all of them, they're like I told you, the HVAC guy trained his own people.
Right.
He's been working for 20 years training his own people. His people aren't messing around. They're very disciplined. They go out and work. They're not cutting up. They're working.
Right.
But somebody has to teach you how to do all that stuff.
Well, let me move into this stuff right now, and that's Put Tools in Schools. Folks, I've been, like Uncle Red here, we've been playing this game a long time. And over 30 years ago, I saw the writing on the wall. I was on the advisory board at CPC's Institute of Construction Technology at Harper campus. And I was young when I got started really in all of this from a educational instruction point of view. I was about 39 years old when we started NARI, the National Association of the Remodeling Industry here in Charlotte. And I got really involved in that side of education because it's dealing with the trades, carpentry, which I was very active in. And I became an instructor for If I Had a Hammer program. And it was a program designed, or actually came up with for middle school kids, 7th to 8th graders, to introduce them to, the construction trades. And it was a great program. Well, as a result of that experience in my life, I immediately, got nominated to be on the advisory board, being in that situation. So I became active with CPCC in an advisory capacity. But the thing is, all we did was talk. Meeting, talk. And If I Had a Hammer was a great initiative, and it was absolutely phenomenal. But here we are today, literally 30 years later, and we've got a problem. But and I say we have a problem. It's a big we factor. We have a problem. The industry has a problem in the fact you can't find anybody who wants to learn or wants to work in the trades. Why? Simple. They don't know it exists. Kids in our schools, in Charlotte-Mecklenburg school system, for the most part, do not know about the opportunities and the pathways available to them outside academics.
If I hadn't have had 2 or 3 guys that work for Grinnell in my neighborhood that came to me and said, hey, if you'll learn how to do this piping work, you'll work all your life. You'll never have to learn anything different.
And
they weren't lying either.
And that's a fact in the electrical field, the plumbing field, the welding field,
Sure.
pipe fitters, you name it, masonry. It doesn't matter what avenue you go down in the trades, you'll always have a job.
They cannot eliminate the people putting it together.
No, they cannot.
They can build a component with a robot and a CNC machine, but they can't take it out and walk through the mud and go in a building and put it in.
Now, if you've got a high school student and you're wondering what they're going to, because I asked the question many, many times to parents, how many kids you got? I got 4. Well, at what ages? I got 2 in college, and I've got 2 coming up, and they're going to blah, blah, blah college. I says, what for? Well, not sure. Well, if you're not sure, why are they going to college? And then we debate that,
Well,
they'll figure it out. But the one thing I talked to Steve Matella, he said, yeah, JP's going to, I told him his son's named JP. He said, JP's 16. I said, what's he going to do when he graduates? I told him what I would do if I was him is go to the beach, find a college down there and get a business degree, just a business degree. That's all. And I said, that's smart. So if you got a kid and you want to teach him something, get him to go to college, get a business degree, learn how to run a business, because then you can get out and learn the trades and be very successful because you got a business degree behind you and you can run a business.
You'll know how to handle the paperwork.
Because Ray Terry was not good at that. I could build and design and do about anything out there, but I was not a good businessman.
Right.
And that's where my failings were. So I would highly recommend if you got a child, that's an area you can't go wrong with.
No.
You can't do it.
Can't take that education away either.
No. And that's a great degree to get just in life. But anyway, moving forward, we got a break here and we're going to come back. I'm going to talk about put tools in schools a little bit and what we can do collectively to change the landscape a little bit. We'll talk about it. Come on back.
Page About Your House Radio. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsor.
This is Tyler White with Crown Town Cannabis. Are you tired of regular old boring cannabis gummies? We are now featuring in all of our locations a brand new fresh baked scratch-baked brand called the Whole Damn Bakery. You can come to any Crown Town location and now pick up chocolate chip cookies, brownies, cereal bars, and a ton of other freshly baked goods. Please come into any Crown Town location and ask for the Whole Damn Bakery.
There's big news in the Carolinas. Queen City Audio, Video, and Appliances is now Queen City Home Store. For over 70 years, we've been your trusted retailer for appliances, electronics, and more. Now, we're taking it to the next level with a new name, a fresh look, and more ways to serve you. Offering the same outstanding service you've always counted on, while bringing you everything you need for your home. Queen City Home Store. Same great service, more possibilities. Visit us at queencityonline.com.
Let's face it, we do not like bugs and especially spiders and ants. Unwanted pests in the home are not only creepy, they can also spread sickness and cause significant damage to the structural integrity of our homes. Kilo Exterminating has been taking care of pest control problems in the Charlotte area for over 70 years with award-winning customer service. Moisture readings are standard with all crawl space inspection. Call Kilo Exterminating at the first sign of infestation, 704-333-9855, or online at kilo.biz. Again, that's 704-333-9855.
Mike Libretto here, owner of Libretto's Pizzeria and Spinello's Pizza. I opened my first pizzeria in New York City in 2004. Not long after that, I took my passion to Charlotte, North Carolina, serving up a taste of New York City with great pizzas and authentic Italian cuisine. Come in, relax, and enjoy Libretto's Pizzeria, located off Johnson Road in the Ballantyne area. Libretto's is also home of the famous Spinello's Pizza, a 10-inch infused frozen pizza, offered in both pepperoni and plain cheese. Visit SpinellosPizza.com for more information, to find a retailer near you, or just to order for pickup at the restaurant. Libretto's Pizzeria is open 7 days a week, a great place to relax, dine in, take out, delivery, or for catering. Visit us online at Libretto'sPizzeria.com. Call us at 704-714-1442 for the best in New York pizza and Italian cuisine. That's Libretto's Pizzeria. Stop in and become part of the family.
Floor Coverings International, Southeast Charlotte. They bring the showroom to you. Whatever you're looking for, be it hardwood, LVP, laminate, carpet, whatever the case is, whatever you think you might want, they'll help you with it. They got you covered. Like I said, they take all the driving away from you. They take care of it in the fact that they drive the showroom to you, bring you what you may want or need. And if they don't have it, they'll find it. Floor Coverings International, Southeast Charlotte. You're saying Southeast Charlotte. What's that mean? Doesn't mean anything. It means that's the name of their business. Floor Coverings International is a franchise, and Southeast Charlotte's one franchise owner. However, they can come anywhere, be it Cornelius, Huntersville, Lake Norman, Ballantyne, Fort Mill, Indian Land. They got it. Wherever you are, they'll come to you. That's Floor Coverings International, Southeast Charlotte. Give them a call, 704-845-3567. Give them a call. Go online. Go on their website, Floor Coverings International, Southeast Charlotte. Google them. Get on their website. Make an appointment there. Get it done. That's Floor Coverings International, Southeast Charlotte.
Have a comment or question for the show? Call us 704-227-8986. That's 704-227-8986. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back to About Your House. The voice of PutToolsInSchools.org, and I say that because Put Tools in Schools needs support. Actually, our kids need the support. We're just an element of delivery, so to speak. Most of our kids in high schools are not aware of the many pathways or opportunities and just tremendous benefits to working with your hands and your mind in the trades. And a lot of people say the trades, well, you get dirty. I'm going to tell you something. We're all creators. God made us all creators. And the only time we learn is when we apply. And there's so much benefit to working with your hands and your mind. And there's a lot of rewards and purpose to it as well. There's not a day that goes by that I'm not able to help somebody in my community with knowledge, with my hands. Every day is a new day, and it's an opportunity to go help somebody. When you can work with your hands and your mind, such a tremendous sense of purpose, and it's empowering. Don't you feel empowered and free?
That's the reason I do it.
Man, and so much freedom to it. When you finish a job, you finished it, you did it on your own, you can look at it, be proud of it, you get paid, and you go to the next one.
That's right.
It's a beautiful thing, and we need to teach our kids these opportunities and pathways. But our education system is not doing it. They're into academia. They're into college, which college is great if you apply that investment to your career or to your purpose. We don't teach kids about purpose, but actually that's what life does for us, purpose. We're put on this planet to serve each other with purpose and love and dedication, but we're not taught that. Well, how do we turn it around? Because, folks, you're all suffering. We've talked about stupid all the time, don't we?
Oh, yeah. I was just sitting there thinking while you were talking. When you and I went to school, to junior high and to high school, when did the school system decide to take away all the drafting and the shop and all that? When did that actually happen? Do you
In
even know?
1979, our education system was given to the government, federally controlled. The education system started on a federal level. That's when it all started. They removed critical thinking from schools. Now, that's a broad statement, but it's true. Critical thinking is all but gone. Why? You can't achieve critical thinking if you don't use your hands and your mind and be resourceful. Right?
Yeah, I just wondered because it was I was exposed to it the whole time.
Yes.
And I learned a lot from it.
Oh God, they're life skills.
Was I the best carpenter? Absolutely not. But I have a couple of things at the house that I made, and I did them right. You know what I mean? And they're still there. But it made me understand more about handling wood and what you could and couldn't do and all. But then getting into mechanical business with the Yandel family, I was around more steel and I started welding. I was already welding. I was welding when I was 13 years old. And I taught welding in high school because we had this nice welding facility in a shop in a class.
You were in Garinger, weren't you?
No, I was at East Mecklenburg.
Okay, you went to
And I told the shop guy, I said, the agriculture guy, I said, I'll teach everybody in this class how to weld if you'll let us use the equipment. We had tons of scrap steel that people would donate,
Sure.
We had all the booths with the blinds and everything. He said, well, if you want to do that, you do it. He was too old. He couldn't do it. And I taught everybody in the class, which wasn't too big, 12, 13 people maybe. I taught them how to weld,
Well, welders.
I don't mean just barely weld. I mean weld stuff.
I know. Oh, the Lincoln Red box probably is what you use.
Yeah,
too.
we use the big ones, but 250s, but they were Lincolns, yeah.
Yeah.
But they had it all sitting there and nobody was using it.
There are kids out there right now, if they could just have that opportunity, that's why I'm developing the relationship with Southeastern Millwright and Carpenters Trust, because they teach welding out there.
Sure.
And they've got a great program, but we need to expose the kids to welding, and women make better welders than men.
Yeah, that's the reason women, and this is not downplaying women, but women, when they ran big cotton mills and stuff and did a lot of sewing stuff, women could do repetitious stuff better than men. Men get aggravated doing the same thing, kind of like me doing the sprinkler work.
You do it over and over.
You
get bored.
You get tired of doing it. It's like the sprinkler work. It was the puzzle. But women can do it and put their mind somewhere else, and be very proficient doing what they're doing, but not, and make a good living. But they, it doesn't bother them. They go home and leave it at the plant.
Well, let me tell you about Put Tools in Schools. We have events called Career Days. There are two events. There are career days and there's trade career days. Now, career days are when Put Tools in Schools are invited to a college career day. And when I say a college career day, we get invited, for example, if you go to puttoolsinschools.org and you look at the events calendar, there are events like the 23rd of October. There's one at Northwest School of the Arts, College Fair. See what it's called? A college fair. They invite Put Tools in Schools to show up with trades and be a part of their college fair. Now, I go in that gym, and there's probably 20 tables in that gym, and they're all college or military or corporate America. And if the trades, I said if, because last year 3 companies showed up in the trades. Why? Why is that? I mean, we're doing the legwork. If we don't teach these kids, they don't know. They won't know otherwise. Now, we got another event at Crestdale Middle School on the 5th of November. And the day after, we got one at Butler High School. Now, you'll notice Crestdale Middle School's Trades Career Day. It's just Put Tools in Schools. So, in other words, to make that a great event for the kids, which middle school is absolutely perfect age to get to kids, like you were talking earlier.
Yeah.
Middle school is the perfect age to get kids familiar with, raise their awareness to the opportunities.
Well, that's the way it used to be. That's what I was talking about.
And then we can feed it as we grow. We need to follow it up with the high schools around it, like Butler High Schools, right a couple miles away from Crestdale Middle. Crestdale Middle's a feeder to Butler. And then you go on to the next month, which obviously is November. Then you got one in the next week. After Butler, you got one at Mint Hill Middle School, Trades Career Day. Notice it says Trades Career Day. We need the industry to show up. And engage these kids with activities.
Well, they're the ones that are suffering and can't get the employees.
Exactly. But they don't have time on a busy schedule to show up, spend a couple hours with the kids.
They think they don't.
But I'm gonna tell you something, if we don't do something, we're all suffering from it. The labor shortage, the stupid shortage or the smart shortage, call it what you want. But we got an issue, and these kids are suffering. And I mean, the kids are suffering. Suicide rate's never been higher, folks. They don't talk about all that, though, do they? And on the 20th of November, we got one at East Mac. And on the 14th, a week before at West Charlotte High, that's a school. Theirs is a college and career day.
What's the one at East Mecklenburg?
It's a trades career day. And we've been to East Mecklenburg 4 times.
And when is it?
The 20th of November, the week before Thanksgiving.
Send me a thing and remind me of that.
I'll be glad to.
No, I mean, seriously, give me a warning.
I will. Because I'm going to tell you something. These kids need us, need industry to step up, show up at these events. And we would like to have anywhere from 7 to 14 companies show up and make an event out of it so they can spread the word amongst the schools, because getting in South Charlotte high schools and schools has been darn near impossible. Why? Because it's a cash cow for a college. Short and simple.
Yeah.
Cash cow for college. They want their academics to go to college because that's where the money is.
Well, if there's one thing that I hold against the school system and the way it was all run when I was there, and that was 137 years ago, was that all the people, I guess the upper tier of people, were all the advisors talked to them. Nobody ever said a word to me anywhere and I went to school. I went 12 years.
So did I.
And nobody ever approached me about trying to go to a junior college or a smaller college or anything about it. They never said anything to me. I had to kind of make my own way. And I hold that against them because my parents were not rich. My sister went to college, and they wanted her to go because she was a girl. She was 5 years older than me. Nobody ever did it. My parents would have been happy to let me go to college. Nobody ever talked to me. So that's the way the system was geared then. And I'm talking about in the 60s. I mean, I'm old.
Right.
But if somebody had approached me, maybe I'd have done something different.
I love what I did. I wouldn't trade it for anything.
No, I'm glad it turned out like I did, but I landed with the really good people along the way. Like I said, I've landed with so many really good mentors. I mean, extremely good, that knew how to do things right. And I learned the first time the right way. And believe it or not, all these years passed, and everybody that does it correctly still does it the exact same way.
Yep.
Because there's only one way to do it.
We talked about mentors. We need to, part of our plans in Put Tools in Schools is to develop a network of mentors that we can help kids with. Mentors being adults in the trades, in the industries, and don't have to be men. They can be female. They can be whatever, if they can guide and help kids find the pathway that best suits them. Here's the amazing thing that I have found, and I've started this back in 2018, and literally it has grown organically, and here we are today. We need financial support. We need industry support. We need to help each other and collaborate with this effort throughout the industry, such as November 21st, Greater Charlotte Build-A-Shed event's going to happen. And it's going to be, I don't have a lot of information about it other than there is going to be one. And what they're doing, they're building 6x6 sheds at Fessler Bowman at 10616 Westlake Drive in Charlotte. On that day, they're going to build, I think, 5. There's 6 students and a teacher, the coach, and they'll work with their mentors in the months leading up to it. Their mentor being a general contractor company that sponsors each team, and they will get together that day and build these 6x6 sheds for competition. Now, Michelle Luter, Connect for Success NC, is doing this up in Wake County and Guilford County and Pender County and other counties up around Wake in western part of the state, and doing phenomenal things with the high schools up there building sheds. And each team comprises of 6 students. 6 students, and they don't have a coach. It's just 6 students. They do have mentors, and they've got an overall coach for each team, but they're not allowed to be active in the build. Right. They're there to instruct and coach and direct. They're not there to build. Okay. They're there in a director capacity only. And the 6 kids, and there's one of the 6 kids, there's one safety officer in that team of 6 that makes sure the site stays safe and everybody's wearing their proper PPE, protective, equipment. And what they do, last year I think they built 13 sheds, and it's a 3-day event. It's not a 1-day event. That's up there. But these are the events we need to get to teach kids, not only kids, but young and older adults that feel cheated, like they never got to experience tools. And there's a lot of you out there. And that's the amazing thing about showing the kids tools. A lot of them are just drawn to the table that I set up with tools on it, just because they've never seen tools. And these guys, and 90% of the students, once again, they can't read tape measures. 90% of the students that I see cannot read a tape measure. And sad but true, vast majority of the teachers I talk to can't read tape measure. We got problems, folks. Now, you want to help? Please do. Please consider it. Do an outreach for us. We need your help. We need money. We need sponsorship. There's sponsorship opportunities. And one of the great things about all this is we're going to help connect kids to trades, to possible career pathways in the toolbox. Now, what's a toolbox? It's going to be a learning warehouse of electrical, plumbing, welding, carpentry, cooking, and our newest and greatest feature is digital media. We've got a podcast studio I can't talk. We've got a podcast studio incorporated in this, and that's where we will be broadcasting this show from, as well as other podcasts around Put Tools in Schools. I want to do one show a week around the kids, around students. And every project we do in that space will be videoed and used as a learning activity. So we're really excited about the possibilities, but none of this can happen, none of it, without support. I mean, everybody looks for the big bucks. Well, we could use a few just to make all this happen. And slowly but surely, I'm going to make it happen regardless. That's why I stay broke. because we keep going forward. We've got to make this happen for the benefit of our kids, and most of all for the industry. The industry needs it big time, but the kids need it more, really. Mental health. This is a mental health thing.
Oh no, it's across all industries. It's not just it's across everything.
It runs deep, and it's a terrible. What's that? It is a crisis.
It is a crisis.
It is a crisis. And it seems like in Charlotte, everybody wants to do it on their own. And, we need to come together and collaborate. Had a great conversation with ABC, the Association of Building Contractors, yesterday. And hopefully we can develop a partnership. Last Monday, we developed somewhat of a lead-in partnership with NARI, the National Association of Remodeling Industry, because they've got tremendous tradespeople within the confines of both those associations that can show up and help us spread the word about the opportunities in the trades.
Yeah, I don't think kids in high school even know where to go look
They
or
have
who
no
to
idea.
go talk to.
They have no idea.
I mean,
I addressed it once again. I tell this story probably every week. I know people getting tired of hearing it, but it really exemplifies how bad it is. I asked ninth graders last spring at Queens Grand High School. There was 80 to 100 kids right in front of me, listening to me. I said, I'm going to ask you a few questions. Raise them hands. Raise them high. How many of you know what the trades are? Not one hand went up. 80 to 100 students. Not one hand went up when I asked, how many of you know what the trades are? Then I said, okay, I'm going to throw you a bone, throw you a little hint. Does anybody know what the construction trades are? Not one hand went up. Next question. How many of you know what the word apprenticeship means? Not one hand went up. Yeah. Then I said, one last question, kids. How many going to college? All the hands went up. So, and therein lies the story right there. I mean, that says everything. They don't know what they don't know. Now, how are we going to change that? Industry, just show up at one of the events. All you got to do is go to puttoolsinschools.org, go to the events tab, tap on it, go to the calendar, and just, if you'll click on the day you want to play with us, an RSVP button will come up. Click on it, put your information in there. We will be back in touch with you very quickly and get you squared away on any questions or any things you may need to know. And promise you, it's easy. We keep it simple, stupid. We keep it simple. Show up, bring a table, bring your wares, bring your logo, bring your people, bring your profession, bring your best, okay? And engage these kids with some kind of engagement, be it gluing PVC pipe together or sweating copper fittings. Yeah, we do that. We've even cut glass with the kids. Yeah, people say, what if you get cut? We're professionals. We're supposed to be safe. We put gloves on. We follow safety precautions. That's what we do. Gosh, why do people make it hard? This doesn't have to be difficult. It really doesn't. It can be real easy and a lot of fun, because I'm going to tell you something. Kids are a blast. They are fun, and they will keep you entertained, and you will learn stuff from those children. I promise you. So consider it. That's puttoolsinschools.org. Now let's take a break and come back on the other side and wrap his show up. Uncle Red in the house today. Thoroughly enjoyed him coming back. Maybe we'll do it again sometime. I'll get him in the new studio, not as far from the house.
Yeah, really.
There you go. Easy to get to. All right. We'll be back with more about your house right after these messages.
Find out more about the show? Go to our Facebook page, About Your House Radio. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsor.
Owens Chimney Systems is known for all professional chimney services since 1989, including chimney cleaning, recommended annually, chimney evaluations and inspections, any and all chimney repairs and restorations, gas fireplace and gas fire log service, furnace cleaning, cleaning out one of the most overlooked appliances in the home, get it done right the first time. That's Owens Chimney Systems at 704-554-9595. Or you can visit us online at owenschimneysystems.com.
Whether you're building new or remodeling old, let ABS Insulating make it comfortable. ABS Insulating knows the business of comfort. Using the latest products and technology, ABS offers an array of solutions, using fiberglass and spray foam, and all installed by certified technicians. ABS Insulating has been saving energy dollars with great customer service for over 30 years. They're a leader in the industry. Call them today, 704-821-4343 or absinsulating.com.
Steve Helms here with the Al Metal Driving Corporation. The Al Metal Driving Corporation is a full-service driving company. Regardless of the problem, we can handle it. Does your clothes dryer take longer than 45 to 50 minutes to dry a load? If so, you need your dryer vent cleaned or checked. The clothes dryer is the most inefficient appliance in the house and should never take longer than 45 to 50 minutes. Call Al Metal Dryer Vent today at 704-846-8368 or online at almetaldryervent.com. That's 704-846-VENT. Have you cleaned your dryer vent lately?
Folks, if you're looking, well, if you have foundation issues or don't know or not sure that you have foundation problems, give Rhino Lift Foundation Solutions a call. They'll come out, assess the situation, tell you what's wrong or what's not wrong. They're not coming out to sell you anything. They're coming out to educate you on what problems you may or may not have. If it ain't broke, they're not going to fix it. They do foundation repair of all types, retaining wall, foundation wall, leaning chimneys, push pier service, helical piers, you name it. They got a foundation repair covered, crawl space repair, encapsulation repair, and invasive water issues, basement to include basement waterproofing, bowed wall repair. They've got a carbon fiber reinforcement service. If you've got cracked concrete and it needs to be fastened, they got it. Concrete repair, leveling. If you've got a sinking slab, sinking sidewalk, sinking driveway, they can fix that as well. Service area, North, South Carolina, offer financing. That's Rhino Lift Foundation Solutions. Give them a call, 980-737-7502. Better yet, go online, schedule an appointment right there. Contact them, rhinoliftfoundations.com.
Have a comment or question for the show? Call us 704-227-8986. That's 704-227-8986. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back. And before we go, every time Uncle Red comes on the show, we talk about freezing wells. And I want him to tell you what the first thing to freeze is. If we get freezing temperature and it lasts for 1 or 2 days, you're going to have no water if you're on a well. Am I right or wrong?
Right.
Tell them what to look for. Tell them where to go find and what to do.
If the well pump, well, the well pump will be out in the yard, and it possibly could be in a little well house or under a fiberglass cover. But whatever, if there's a tank out there, then there's a switch out there. And the switch is fed with a little piece of pipe that's about as big around as your little finger.
But it's always near the tank.
Yep, it's right.
Always
near the tank. If the tank's in the basement, you don't have to worry about it. If the tank's under the house, you don't have to worry about it. But
unless it gets real cold.
Yeah, well, that'd be really cold.
Yeah, real cold.
But anyway, if you're going to put any heat, the tank's not going to freeze. We don't live in an environment or area that's crazy. But if you're going to add a light bulb, a small one, just lay it down under where that little pressure switch and that little teeny tube goes up.
And typically square D.
Yes, typically square D switch. But the heat rising will keep that little bitty nipple from freezing. and you'll never lose the water. If you want to be careful, and it's one of those nights when it's 15 degrees, when you get up in the middle of the night, maybe to go to the bathroom, turn the water on and run it a little bit, just a little bit. So, and
leave it running.
And leave it running for a
Dripping.
while. Or you can, and then if you live these new houses where they put a lot of plumbing in the outside walls and they're not very thick, you need to open cabinet doors and let the heat from the house get under the cabinets so that it'll go through the sheetrock and keep the plumbing from freezing, because plumbing pipes will freeze in walls. And, you know, they always said that PEX pipe was good because it would swell and not burst. You really don't need anything freezing in the walls of your house,
Regardless, whether
Yeah.
it's PEX or not.
whether it's PEX or not. But that's what that's just what you do. But
And that little nipple he's talking about, that right there is you most
that
of the time.
controls the water going to the pressure switch, which activates it and cuts it off and on. And it's the smallest amount of water in that little tube, and it freezes first.
That's-
Always
that-
freezes first.
Always. How many of them you fix? How many?
I've taken my
Hundreds.
gloves off on a cold day and reached down there and grab it with my hand and not even use the damn hair dryer or anything, and hold it with my hand, and I'd hear it go click and the water would start going. You already fixed it, because the minute the well starts pumping,
And
the
moving that
water's
water.
58 degrees, it's going through it, it thaws itself out. The trick is you got to have a little bit of heat on.
Light bulb, blow dryer, whatever.
Yeah, anything. Yeah. Light bulb or a hair dryer,
Or you
torches.
can use thermal tape. What do you
Well, you
think?
can use Chemolex electric heat tape.
Chemolex.
Chemolex makes the best. It's self-regulating. The stuff at the hardware store works if it's installed right. It's really hard to put on. You can use Chemolex. You can buy it online. You can tighten a knot and put a plug on the end of it. You can buy a kit in a little box and do it. You can put it on there and forget about it. I got some that's been on for 40 years. It just stays plugged in, because in the summer, it pulls a half a watt a foot.
I've got it wrapped around my on-demand. Oh, let's talk about
Yeah.
on-demand water heaters a little
Yeah,
bit.
freezing.
You know, a lot of people think on-demand water heaters are kind of bulletproof. They're not. They're not at all. Matter of fact, when it gets real cold, you have a chance of, depending on the exterior, if it's mounted on an exterior wall. Let me get my logistics right here.
Yeah.
If it's mounted on the exterior wall outside, and there was one customer of mine, or somebody called me on the radio one day. Every time it got down below 32 for any period of time, he lost water.
Yeah, because the water going in and the water going back is unprotected.
But you can solve those issues with this heat tape,
Yeah.
and there are other remedies of that. But on-demand water heaters aren't bulletproof. There are precautions, and I know firsthand because I froze my manifold,
Yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
it burst.
Yeah, I remember when you
And
first
it
got
was a Renai, but it was
Yeah.
on me. It was all my fault. I did it. I put it on a 3-way switch, and when I turned the lights off upstairs, the water heater had no
You turn the
power.
water. You turn the you turn-
They've got little micro ceramic heaters that are installed throughout the water heaters to
Right.
keep those manifolds and everything thawed out. And that's why you have to have 110 volts going to your water heater. You're on demand. It doesn't take a lot of energy, but the igniter takes 110 volts. So when water passes through, it hits a pressure switch and it activates the
It's 1/10 of 1 amp.
Yeah, it takes no power hardly at all. But if you don't have that power, it can't stay thawed out, and it'll freeze. I promise you.
Yeah.
So if the power goes out, and your water heaters on-demand water heaters on an exterior outside wall, it will freeze, and it can freeze and burst the manifold inside.
That's right.
And if it does, it's going to have to be replaced. I know, because I did it.
Yep.
And mine broke. Mine broke.
I remember when you did it.
Oh man, you were on the show that
Yeah, you were
time.
really mad.
I was upset, and when I find out it was my fault, then I really became upset.
Yeah.
But hey, we make mistakes.
My friend told me anybody that likes music, back 1968 is when the group started, called Rush, RUSH. They are going on tour in 2026. They're having more than 50 stops. So if you want to go back and look up Rush and play their music, if they've been around since 1968, they've been around for a while.
And they're a bunch of old guitar players.
Anyway, I
All
was told to
musicians.
tell everybody that, so I'm telling
And
you.
primarily, only the boomers know who we're talking about.
Yeah, but if I go back and listen to it, it might be something they listen to all the time. They just don't know.
Right. I got it. I hope we've thrown some knowledge your way today. We've hit a lot of subjects, but every time me and Uncle Red get together, we just kind of cover the gambit.
Well,
Brent said it was good to see Uncle Red back on the show. We'll never forget Uncle Red spending 45 minutes on the phone with him to help him with his water heater at Lake Lure. Brent
Oh,
McDowell.
yeah, I remember
Said,
that.
of course, Ray was a big help also.
Yeah. I remember, but I mean, I don't remember what we did, but I remember it when it happened. And I remember it was somebody up at Lake Lure.
Brent's a great example of a listener who listens. I mean,
who takes advantage of the information.
He listens, and he'll call me. And folks, I do mean this with all my heart. I'm available, and I answer my phone. I answer my phone 80 to 90% of the time. If I don't, it's only because I'm on another call or I'm tied up or just literally away from my phone. And next week, when I take off to the hills, I can't remember which day. I could look it up. But I think I'm up there Tuesday night and Wednesday night, headed back Thursday. But when I'm up there, I've already been told, and I already expressed the love and desire to do so, all screens are turned off. I'm going to take a 2 to 3 day phone break, and I'm not going to touch my phone for 3 days. So, and I can't wait. So we're going to be on a cabin by water. Looking forward to it. It's just a couple of days to get away, enjoying the fall leaves, colors of the North Carolina hills. Looking forward to it. And, there ain't nothing like running water.
Well, I appreciate you inviting me to come down because I've had fun. It was like reminiscing coming down here. I came down, went by Jung's Laundry over there right there at the exit coming off Brookshire. He's been there since I was a kid and lived in Fourth Ward. They're still there. You know what I mean?
Oh,
God
yeah.
knows how many clothes they've cleaned. You know what I mean?
Yes,
and then
sir.
came down Church Street because I used to carry the papers on Church Street. You know what I mean? When I was 11 years old, I know all those buildings. They built a lot of extra buildings, but they didn't change Church Street. You know what I mean?
Nope, it's still there. And Graham Street, still
Yeah.
there.
Yep, it's all there.
All right, next Saturday, we're going to talk to Ryan Steele, Recoat Revolution. He has a product, hardwood floors, when you get them refinished, how dusty and what a mess is. Well, he's got a product that eliminates all that mess, and he can come in and recoat your floors, make them look great without all the hassle and the dust. So tune in next Saturday as we'll talk to Ryan Steele and Recoat Revolution. And 2 weeks after that, we've got Tiffany Brown with IDS. She's an interior designer and project designer with some background, another female in the industry. Have you noticed how many females are running the show these days?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's
really.
mind-blowing.
Hey, somebody's got to grab the handle and make it go.
Where have all the men gone?
I don't know.
But you know what I'm talking about, don't you?
Sure I do.
Man, where have the men gone? When are we going to step up, guys? We're going to figure that out, too. I'm going to see if I can't get F3 on the show here and we figure it out, how to make men out of boys, because we got a problem. But anyway, go make it a great week. Richton, thank you.
Appreciate it, Ray.
Thank you,
Uncle
sir.
Red.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. Yeah.
And now go make it a great week. Spread some love all around. And, the answer to all the things that ails us is simple. It's love. Try to understand. You can't understand politics. Don't even try. Get off your TV. Turn that dang thing off, because you will never figure it out and you'll never be happy. So go spread some love. Find a child of mentor. Find out who's around you, where the elderly is, and what they're up to. They won't ask for help, but they sure need it. Go make it a great week, and we love you all. We'll see you back here next week on About Your House.